Alrighty then. Cool. Here we are. Don't yell at me, Lady J. Okay? How about that? How about you stop yelling at me? Okay? how about you fucking stop? How about that? How about we stop with the attitude? All right. As we just get this nice start, okay? Hands going all over here. All right. Let's go. Yeah, we got all these hands going around all over the place. I could see it. I could see it in your attitude while you were talking. Yeah, I think you ever sent that heart hood too. I appreciate that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's woo. Sorry, I even got here on time. This freaking damn tennis coach had me running all over the damn place, bro. I was running today. Oh my goodness. I probably lost 12 pounds today. Like it was rough. It was rough. I had a time. Anyways, it's good for me. It's good for me. It's good for me so I don't get fat because I sit here in this damn chair all the time, getting fat. So, anyways, if you guys would like to support the live, I do not support the live. If you'd like to call in on the live, you can join the guest request box or call in on the number that's above my head. Well, that's interesting. Well, that's not good. Okay, there they are. Sorry. Dude, he was just like, oh, he's like, I'm just gonna run you all over the court. And and then like I was already playing before he got there, and then I have that, and then, oh my goodness. And then he made me stay around for like there was like a kids practice afterwards. He made me stay around that so I could get whooped by a freaking high school kid. Ugh. First of all, that's bullshit, right? Like I'm damn near 40. Of course, the fucking some high school kid is gonna beat me. You know, I'm old as shit. Out there running, I'm fat. I'm old as shit. Right? Out there running like a crazy person. Sweating, freaking coming all in. Being all gross. Yeah, bro. Yeah. He's trying to set me up, dude. I don't trust that guy, bro. He's over there being a snake. I don't trust that shit. He's being a snake, bro. Dude, I was out there for like 2.5 hours, bro. You know how hot Florida is? Like all the time? Like all the time. Like, I know some of y'all live in places where it's still like freaking, I don't know, -4 or wherever the hell you're at, even though some are damn near May. All y'all people up in
insane.
All y'all people out there in freaking Canada or wherever. 40 time for AARP. Yo, watch it, first of all. Second of all, just because you're right doesn't mean you got to say it, okay? Yeah. Just because you're right doesn't mean you have to say it, okay? Over here, gonna have to get the walker out, bro. Massachusetts and Michigan were both 43 today. Yeah, fuck all that. Yeah, I don't even know how hot it was. It was like 80 something today. I don't even freaking know. Okay. Like 80 something. Yeah, I gotta get the walker out, bro. I was talking to my mom. My mom's 80. And, she was talking about, like, she was just over there, like, if it's my time to go, like, don't be having me on like no, like on no machines or none of that shit. Like, freaking just staying alive. Like, screw all that. Like, just let me go. You know what I'm saying? Like DNR, like type of shit. And I was like, dude, I feel like that now, bro. At like 40. At like 40, I'm like, dude, just let me go if I'm gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let me go if you're gonna let me go, just let me go. You know? Like, I'm not saying I don't want to go. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? I don't want to go. I do not, all right? Trust me, with the way the Trump administration starts acting, okay, like I am very happy I did not unalive myself, okay? So just say that right there. Let's get that off the bat, okay? I'm very happy. I'm good. All right? So if I just that's a conspiracy shit, dude. That came at me, okay? So, not saying that. I'm just saying, like, if we get into a spot, yeah, don't let me get Epstein, bro. I'm not even doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? But if we get into a spot where, like, it's just like, going downhill, like, don't keep me on them fucking machines, bro. Ain't even that serious, dude. It ain't even that. It really ain't even that serious, bro. I'm not planning on going nowhere. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. Look, guys, I feel like I'm saying like one thing and y'all are hearing another thing. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, it's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying. Okay. Yeah, just like do not resuscitate type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, how about that? I'll probably have to write this down someplace. But it's like if I have to be like on like a like they're like, oh, he's in a coma. We're not sure if he'll recover. Give me like a few days. Like, don't be in too big of a hurry. You know what I'm saying? Like, give it a few days. You know? Let's not get weird over here. All right. I don't want to like he's like oh, he's in the hospital. We're not like he's entering surgery, like he has a pretty good chance, and someone's just like, pull the plug, yo, like get rid of this. Like, don't be doing that. Okay, give me a chance. All right. Give me a chance to get through. You know what I'm saying? Then after I've had like a fair chance, okay, then just let me go. You know? Guys, we all gotta go sometime. Like, sorry. Like that I don't think any of us are escaping that, you know? I think a fair chance is more than valid. All right, y'all. If you guys still support Trump, you can call on the number that's above my head or join the multi-guest button. It is always funny how I start this live out and there'll be like 5 people like being like, I'm ready to talk to you right this second. And then if you wait like 5 minutes, they all lose like, they have attention spans of goldfish. It's so funny. Tannen said he pulled the plug, but in fairness, he needed to charge his phone. Okay. And that, like, I understand that, right? Like, you've been sitting at the hospital with me. Your phone's probably dying, right? And you need to, you need to get some juice on there, That's what that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Like that, then it's okay, Can I put that in writing? Like, you'd be like, no pulling the plug unless someone has to charge their phone. That seems fair. Put it all in writing. Okay. Put it all in writing. That's what I'm hearing. Put it all in writing. But see, like, what if by that time that we have like different phones and stuff that like don't charge the same way? I don't know. Could all change. By the way, I did an update. You guys hear that noise? That noise wasn't here before. On like when like those gifts came up. That's new. I didn't turn that on. I'll find a way to go. Anyways. Yeah, they might have. I mean, like what? Like hold on. Like what kind of phone though? Like if you have like an old iPhone that's been through like 3 updates, like major updates, like that's not fair. Like your phone's gonna die in like every like 2 seconds. You know, that's not good. You gotta give me more time than an old like it's like if you have an iPhone 14 right now, like you gotta give me more time than that. You know, if you got like an iPhone 14, you gotta give me more time than that. All right. But if it's like, but like if you got like an iPhone 17, yeah, that's probably enough time. Those things last a pretty good time. You know what I'm saying? Some say if you got a Motorola, dude, if you got one of those old Motorola flip phones, you'll never pull the plug on me. That thing can only run Snake and make phone calls. That battery will last you for 2 weeks. Okay, you could beat me to death with that phone, and you could beat me to death with that phone, and then make a phone call after. The Nokia brick phones, those things, the Nokia brick phones, bro. Again, you put a case on those things to protect the ground, bro. Those things were wild. Like you weren't allowed to bring those things into stadiums and on airplanes because it's a weapon. I'm telling you. Now I was talking about like the Motorola Razr, but you know, but yeah, those Nokia freaking brick phones, those things were, yeah, no joke. Yeah, you run over one of those things with like a big rig, and there's a hole in the ground. Yeah, snapping pavement and stuff. uh, all these like all everybody under 30 right now was like, what in the fuck is this dude talking about? Everybody under 30 right now is like, what is this dude talking about? Like, I grew up with an iPhone 5. Like, shush. Okay. My iPad lasts forever. My iPhone lasts forever, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, y'all know nothing about waiting for free calls. Shit. I'll text you. I'll text you after 9 when I get free text messaging. If you've never said that to somebody, then like you're a baby. Okay? Then you're a baby. Yeah. See, back in the day, okay, everybody just didn't have like just unlimited. Okay? You used to buy minutes. All right. So someone would page you on your pager, right? Then you'd wait until it was free minutes time because you had unlimited nights and weekends. Yes, like you know what's up. You wait till you had your unlimited nights and weekends. Okay. Then you called them back. All right. You couldn't be out there freaking wasting minutes. Okay. You couldn't be out there wasting minutes. Oh, goodness.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm sorry. Are you speaking English?
Yes, I am.
Like, is this like the King's English?
No, American English.
Oh, are you sure about that?
Yes, I am sure.
Whoever's screening calls in there, can you guys make sure you guys don't add them directly to the live? You can add them to host queue after they've been screened, and that way you don't throw them directly on the live. If you could do that, I'd really, really appreciate it. You'll see a button that says host queue. Please add them to that, and I'll bring them up on the live. All right. Well, how old are you and which country are you from?
I'm 18 and I'm from America.
From America?
America, USA.
Dude, that's fucking wild, dude. That's not. First of all, you're a 40-year-old Russian man. Like that is just what you are. Like you are a 40-year-old fucking Russian man. Like it's just
No,
what you
no,
are. Like
no.
like you have
I just got accent.
yeah, I know your accent. I can also hear your voice, right? Between your accent and your voice, you are 100% 45, okay? And you definitely like what state are you in?
Missouri.
You're in Missouri? What time is it there?
Yes.
What time is it there?
7:21.
Awesome. Give me two states the Missouri borders.
What do you mean by in Missouri borders?
Yeah, two other states that are on the border of Missouri. Go.
Kansas, Nebraska.
Kansas, Nebraska.
Yes.
How'd you have a map there that quickly? That's pretty impressive.
I don't have a map.
Oh, okay.
I know geography.
You know geography? That's good.
Yes.
All right, Mr. 40-year-old Russian guy. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind? I don't know. I saw a live stream debate.
Yeah. So do you still support Trump?
I want to hear your opinions first.
No, I'm good.
You're good? Why think Trump is not good man? Nobody good. But he is an okay leader.
What year were you born?
What year was I born? 2008?
What month?
No, not 2008.
Not 2008?
1988.
1988.
Yes.
That's a big gap. 2008 and 1988. Those are like two very different ages.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
It's just kind of cool. Like,
What do you mean by cult like?
yeah, just don't worry about it. Okay. Anyways, so anyways, comrade, what were you saying?
I was saying, Trump's not good man, but he a good leader.
That's who you sound like. You sound like, oh, what's his face? So it was the poker movie with Matt Damon. Where he check. Kid's got alligator blood. I can't do the accent. Pay this man his money. Rounders, there it is. Pay this man his money. John Malkovich, yeah. That's exactly who you sound like. Am I talking to John Malkovich right now? That's kind of cool.
No.
You see it all slipping away. All of your dreams. That card could not have helped you.
What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
You know what?
You never seen that movie?
No, I never seen that movie.
Oh, you should watch it. It's called Rounders. It's about a poker player.
A rounder?
Rounders, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Can you say the words to me? Can you say say pay this man his money?
Pay this man his money.
Not bad. That's pretty close. That's pretty it. That's pretty it. Let's see. That's pretty much it.
I flopped the nut straight.
Motherfucker! You fool your nut! Motherfucker! That is it!
What the fuck
fuck you talking
Is
about
that
that?
supposed to be a
Take him
compliment?
now, Daddy.
Нет! No more! This son of bitch all night it check. Нет, check. Нет. He beat me. Straight up. Pay him. Pay that man his money.
That was really good. That was really good. Okay, I'll say I will give you that. All right.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now you got to go away though. Okay. All right. Bye
Oh, why?
bye.
Is it because of aggression?
No, because you were born in both 2008 and also 1988. You said you were 18. I asked what year you were born. You said 2008 and then said 1988. Yeah. Check, check, check. Y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are over on the Red app, put that thumbs up. If you guys are over on the Clock app, make sure you're tapping that screen. We're going to move on to the next caller and keep this thing going. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys like support, I do have super chats, super stickers, cats needing, and the pay links in the bio, all at PolyPolitics. On all the pay link ones. They're in my link tree too.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
That's sehr good, yeah. Yeah, very good.
What is this, like the night of the accent? Is that like, am I visiting Epcot right now? Is that what's going on?
No. I coincidence, I suppose. Yeah.
What?
Sorry. I am originally born in Habsburg, Germany, and I grew up there till I was about 6. But I moved to Berlin in my teenage years, yeah. But I've spent lots of time in Norway, in like Sweden, places like that, Finland, yeah. I've been to Estonia, and like Belarus. I have spent a lot of time.
I'm sorry. Hello. Why do I give a shit about your travel plans? Your travel history?
Because I'm explaining why.
Yeah. I don't. I'm asking
very
why
good
I
English,
need to
yeah.
listen to it. That was the question I'm asking. I don't understand why I need to listen to every country and city that you've lived in. That's my question.
Sorry.
What country and city do you live in now?
I currently live in Kansas City, Kansas. Yeah.
Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah.
Which side?
Church
East
group.
side or west side?
How am I supposed to know that?
How are you supposed to know east and west?
I just moved here like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't vote and you can't be a citizen.
Yeah, but
so
I'm getting my citizenship. Yeah.
cool. Message me back when you do. Okay.
Fast.
All right. Yeah, I think I don't know. What the fuck are we doing today, dude? That's two of the wildest fucking accents that we've had in a fucking row. What in the fuck are we doing today? Is somebody tricking me? Is one of my call screeners like playing a joke on me? Is that what's going on? Because it is funny. It's a good joke. We're gonna bring up the next guy. I bet you he's from which country you think he's from? Let me guess. He's gonna be calling me from inside of Venezuela.
Hello?
Oh my God, hello?
I'm not from Venezuela. I can tell you that.
Oh, that's surprising. And you sound
Sorry about that.
like you
How
don't
are
have
doing?
too much from inside of Iran. Someone said from inside of Iran. Someone's gonna call me from
Right.
inside of Iran.
Yeah,
That's
no,
pretty
actually,
impressive.
I'm here from DC.
What?
Sorry about that. Sorry to interrupt. I said, yeah, I'm actually here from Washington, D.C.
Okay. Do you still support Trump?
No, I actually called to tell you that I'm one of the guys that worked inside of the Hilton Hotel during the night of that awful ass correspondence dinner. If you ever wanted to talk about something or some shit, I don't know.
No. I mean, just personally, it doesn't just really interest me. I mean, somehow, ICE has to, like shoot people that are just in the street exercising their First Amendment. But somehow the Secret Service can shoot like 8 shots at some guy and miss all of them and then just detain him with no injuries. I don't really understand I mean,
Yeah,
if you have
that's
some
what
pertinent information, I'll listen, but I don't know what I really need to know about it.
I mean, I guess I'm just one of those, those background cooks that just really like, was right there close enough to the action to see most of the shit happen. But if you don't really care about it, that's cool. Just wishing you all the best,
Well,
Polly.
do you have pertinent information to tell me about it?
Pertinent, like, who was the guy? How did he run past security? I don't know who he was. I do know that he ran past security and he ended up getting shot like 30 seconds after that. A bunch of servers started running into the back where we were serving the food at. And then all of the chefs had to throw their hands up like they were suspects. I mean, I don't really know what pertinent means. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, sounds like Secret Service was doing their job, and yeah, I saw the video of him running past security. Yeah,
yeah.
that was
They ended up running into like our little liquor cabinet type of thing. It was very interesting to watch happening like right then and there. But
well, sir, white women are everywhere, so I guess it's not really too surprising there. But yeah, I think I'm gonna let you go. I hope you have a good one. Okay.
You as well.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, I don't know why it's surprising to have white women around. That's my everyday life. We're gonna move on to the next caller. Keep this thing going. Again, if you guys like support Trump, you can call it on the phone number that's above my head or join the guest request box. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Speedy, thank you so much for the gold coins. Luca, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Said, let me get that one-on-one on tennis. You'd whoop the shit out of me, most likely. I'm not very good. I'm on like 4 lessons. I've had like 4 lessons, dude. No, I don't, you'll probably whoop the shit out of me. I'll play though. I'll play. And Capo, thank you so much for the 20 gifted memberships. I really appreciate that also. Huge W's to the chat for Luca and for Capo. That is absolutely huge. Thank you so much. This is so much. Thank you so much. Huge W's. That is so huge. Thank you so much, Capo. All right, we'll see if we got any guests going on over here. I think I saw someone just try to join the guest request box. They might have left already, though. Yeah, we're going to keep this thing going. Really appreciate that. Again, if you guys like Sir Trump, you can join the guest request box. Or, oh, my goodness. Hello.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I want you to know my son requested up for me about 30 minutes ago and then walked away and I totally forgot.
Well,
yeah, no, I hate Trump, so I don't need to be here. I told him not to do that. Anyways, he thinks it's funny.
At least say hi to everyone. You're already here now.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, so everybody say hi, Katie. Hi.
Oh God, now my dog's freaking out. I have an Australian Shepherd too, though.
Hell yeah, dude. Australian Shepherds to the win. For sure,
He's a little shit, though, but it's fine.
They all are. We love them.
Yeah. Anyways, you can let me down.
All right. Have a good one. All right. Oh, he said wine cabinet? I swore he said white women. I swore he was like, it's so strange seeing white women around. I'm like, I don't know how that's strange, man. Hello, how are you? Hello? No, I guess not. Gone. Yeah, someone said he said wine cabinet. I was like, he started to sound like he sounded like white women to me. I don't know what to tell you. I said almost every single day I have white women around me. That's not super surprising, but I guess maybe if in DC people be doing things different. That's what I heard. That's okay. Maybe I got white women on the brain. Liquor cabinet? I don't know. I heard white women. Again, maybe I just got that on the brain. That's on me. Yeah, maybe that's just on me. All right. Let's not pass judgment here. Okay? Let's not pass judgment here. If
Hello?
it ain't snowing, I ain't going. Yo, that's a wild fucking thing to say to somebody. That's fucking wild. Anyways, hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
25.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes.
Thank you. 1 second. Yeah, dude, I mean, I'm judging. Hold on. I didn't say that. Okay? That was a comment from somebody else. Okay? I was reading a comment from somebody else. Okay? I see all you people judging me. Okay? I was reading someone's comment. All right? Give me a break here. Okay? Go judge Xlaxy. Okay? I wasn't doing this. All right? I'm not saying it's not true, but the fact that you guys automatically judge me for that makes me mad. So go get mad at them. Anyways, why do you still support Trump?
A lot of reasons, but his border policy, the Iran war, a lot of reasons.
Awesome. What is his border policy?
Deporting illegal immigrants and securing the border better than Biden did.
And how is it more secure than it was under Biden?
I mean, he deployed 10,000 military troops, so I mean, he's adding more people to the border.
He didn't. Texas did, and military troops don't have any authority to stop or detain anybody at the southern border. So how does that help?
It helps because they can.
No, they can't. Yeah, they do not have the authority under the law to make an arrest, because when you're stopping someone that's coming in like from the border, what are you stopping them for?
Coming here illegally.
Correct. For a law enforcement action, right? And do active duty military have the ability to enforce the law in the and within the United States?
I actually don't know.
No, they do not. Right? That would be considered something under martial law, which we don't have, which, the United States doesn't have, right? So therefore, they're not allowed to stop them. Even when, like, they were saying, like, National Guardsmen, all sort of stuff, pretty much they were doing some, like, paperwork, and they were, like, cleaning up trash, and they were doing some stuff around there. But they don't actually have enforcement abilities. So you can't just say, like, hey, like, send them all out there and, have them stop a bunch of people. They're not allowed to do that. It's not legal. So what is really more secure?
I still think it's more secure with military troops there, because I mean, they are stopping people.
They are not. Again, that is illegal. It is against the law. It is against the UCMJ. It is against every part and form of our government. The Supreme Court, the Constitution, literally everything says that is illegal. Okay? So no, they are not.
Oh, I guess I was wrong. There's logistical support.
I know. I just said that.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's also adding 1,300-mile smart wall to the southern border. So.
Okay. And how does that help?
Well, he's adding to the border, so he's making it. He's continuously building on the border, so that stops illegal immigrants from coming in. And the smart wall has better crap on it, cameras and AI software.
Cool. What's stopping you from just going over it?
I mean, if you want to climb, I mean, I don't really think, I mean, even if you can get over it, I mean, you're just going to be stopped.
Well, sir, if they can climb over it and then be stopped, then what's the point of the wall?
Well, the point of the wall is to stop people from coming in, and the wall is being advanced with cameras and AI software, so we're going to know if anybody crosses the border. So if the wall don't stop them, we will.
The old wall had cameras. So what's about this one?
Well, they're adding AI software and better cameras.
Sir, how do you AI software a wall? It's a wall. I'm sorry. Is this like some type of like new like thing that I'm not familiar with? Okay. A wall is a wall. Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. Could you not hear me talking?
I did.
Perfect. Thank you.
You
If
asked the
there's a
question, I answered it.
wall, okay, a wall is a barrier, okay? Barrier, all right? It's a barrier. It's to freaking restrict someone from going from one place to another, right? That's how it is. So I don't understand how AI has anything to do with a physical barrier. If it's a physical barriers can be climbed over, physical barriers you can go under, physical barriers you can go around, right? Physical barriers you can go through if the wall sucks enough or you got the right equipment, right? But none of those I don't see where AI has to do with any of that, because if you just have a motion sensor camera, then cool, you can see everything that's happening at the border. So how is this going to help anything? You know, there's been a wall there for like 100 years, right?
Not a complete wall.
There won't be a complete wall with Donald Trump. You just said 1,300 miles. That's less than we already had in
that's
wall.
That's more than Biden was doing. All he was doing was maintenance.
Actually, he filled plenty of holes in the wall, but that doesn't have anything to do with what I'm talking about, sir.
That doesn't
If you just
add to
said,
it.
sir, if you just said that he's building 1,300 miles of wall, then he's not building a wall, an amount of wall across the border, right? Because how far is the southern border?
He's adding to the southern border. He's not. He won't. Be able to
Biden
build the
also
entire
added freaking
border.
hundreds and hundreds of miles to the southern border.
Who did?
Joe Biden.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He actually literally
He
had
at
to.
the end of his term, he was actively selling off pieces of the southern border.
At the end of his term, he was literally trying to pass legislation to add more money for the border wall.
What legislation?
The Langford bill.
Was that the bill that would have?
Sir,
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
bill.
talking about other things the bill could and couldn't do. We can talk about that later. In the bill was literal tens of millions of dollars, not hundreds of millions of dollars, in order to build more wall.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I'm gonna look into that.
Okay, cool. Well, you can look into that, but regardless of the point, sir, a wall has been there for a long time. And yes, there's been holes in the walls, there have been gaps in the wall. But even when he started building his wall the first time, I mean, there was tons of videos just going around YouTube and everything else, right? That were just showing like, oh yeah, Donald Trump builds this 50-foot wall and they build 51-foot ladders and they just go over it. There was a huge tunnel system that was going underneath it. There was all sorts of things. A wall
Under the
doesn't
Biden
really
administration?
under the Trump and Biden's administration. Under the first and the second one.
Yeah, but there was, but if they were doing maintenance, then why didn't they find it? All the tunnels and crap that was under the wall under the Biden administration.
They do. They found hundreds of tunnels, and then they would stop a tunnel, and then another tunnel would be built, because that's how tunnels work. You just build new. As long as there's ground, you can build a tunnel. Like it's not very difficult. It's just a tunnel. It doesn't have to even go that far.
Then and what Trump's doing is he's advancing the border to make it better. So crap like that doesn't happen.
How is his wall going to stop a tunnel?
He's adding better cameras and AI software.
How does
to
a camera
catch
and
people.
AI software stop a tunnel? If I start my tunnel, if I start my tunnel, a quarter mile before the wall, before the camera can see me, and I ended a quarter mile on the other side of the wall, how does his AI software help?
It's going to catch you when you come out.
A quarter mile away where the camera can't see me, how's it going to do that?
No, when you come out on the other side of the wall.
Yes, which is a quarter mile away from the wall. That's what I'm saying. A quarter mile before, a quarter mile after.
I don't know why you're arguing this. He still did better than Biden.
You're not making any points that he did better than Biden. There was a wall the whole time Biden was there. The wall did nothing to stop anybody the whole time Biden was there. The wall did nothing to stop anything the whole time Trump was president the first time. The wall did nothing to help Obama the first time when he was in presidency. The wall did nothing to stop Bush, because walls don't stop people from coming from the southern border. That's the point I'm making. And Donald Trump just building another wall, okay, is going to have the exact same effect as all the rest of the walls, which is doing not a goddamn thing.
Well,
that's what I'm making, sir.
Any immigrants that get into the country, Trump's deporting them.
Sir,
So,
we're not talking about
unlike Biden,
there was
he just deports them without a trial because they don't need a trial. They're
Yep.
illegally here.
How many people were deported by the Biden administration in 2024?
Hold on. How many?
685,000. How many were deported by ICE in 2025?
Hold
The
on.
answer is about 600,000. Okay, so they're
And
not even
just
doing
in
a they're not
2025.
even doing a better job of deporting. Okay, they're not even
How many
doing a
did
better job
Biden?
of
How many?
deporting.
Wait, hold on.
So exactly.
How
So
many
so sir,
did
sir,
Biden
no,
deport?
sir. I'm in the middle of my sentence again. I know the middle of my sentence keeps interrupting yours. I really would like to get it out though, if that's okay. Perfect. Thank you. So when you say that Donald Trump is securing the border, I would just like a way in which he's doing that. Okay, that's all I'm asking. All right, because all the studies show that the overwhelming majority of the things that Biden has done at the southern border, or that Trump has done at the southern border, it's just stopping asylum seeking, which shut down a bunch of encounters, so they're pretty much existent, and pretty much got rid of all the refugee programs. That's all he did was just stop people that were trying to come here legally.
Yeah, and he's still doing better deportations than Biden. That's how he's securing the border. Anyone who
Okay,
does
can
get
you please
in
show me how he's
is
doing better
immediately deported.
deportations than Biden?
Well, Biden,
No, not your feelings.
all Biden was doing was I don't know if it was all of them, but a lot of them they'd be detained, be given a court hearing, and then they wouldn't show up to the court hearing. Trump's
That's
not
actually
doing that. He's just
completely
deporting them.
incorrect. Yeah. So what you're talking about is somebody who's like paroled or has like a notice to appear, right? Those are two things that did happen under the Biden administration. But he wasn't just doing that. Actually, the overwhelming majority of people that applied for those type of things actually were deported immediately or sent back or turned away because they weren't able to apply for those programs. But yes, there were a certain amount of people that did that. But those people all have hold on, sir. But regardless of any of that, sir, those people are still processed. They're still here legally, okay? And they overwhelmingly showed up for their court dates. I think it's something like people with representation at the at their immigration hearings had like a 96% rate of showing up, right? And a large majority of the people that didn't show up actually just left voluntarily before their court date.
Wait, if Biden's doing so well, then why was there
I didn't say Biden was doing so well.
that got into the country?
I didn't say Biden was doing well. I never said that.
You said, yeah.
My argument is not that
Trump's doing
Biden was
better.
doing well. Biden did not
had
do.
1.5 million people get in the country, not encounters, into the interior of the country.
It was actually much more than that, and that number that you said is actually pretty close to what Donald Trump had in his first term. So if that number bothers you, then Donald Trump should really bother you, okay? But I never made a claim that Joe Biden did good at the border. Joe Biden also had a very, 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 very different situation, right? Because Biden had the expiration of Title 42. There was an 18-month buildup at the southern border that, exacerbated by COVID and the destabilization of the Northern Triangle, had a whole bunch of people coming to the southern border, and we didn't have enough border patrol to be able to stop them, right? That is just the fact of what's happening. And the only people that can provide that amount of border patrol in order to help them is Congress, and Congress wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do their jobs, right? They wouldn't actually pass legislation in order to, get more people at the southern border to help the problem. But then, okay, there was a bunch of asylum seeking shut down. There was an increase of presence at the southern border. The amount of encounters reduced significantly. The amount of apprehensions actually went up at the southern border, all in Joe Biden's last year. So by the time Donald Trump got into the presidency, there wasn't that big of a problem, right? It was actually pretty average for what Donald Trump was dealing with in his last presidency, right? And now Donald Trump, instead of just taking that and dealing with that, what he's done is he shut off a whole bunch of legal migrants, hurting people that are legally allowed to be here, people that are trying to seek refugee status, people that are trying to seek asylum, and he stopped them from being able to do it, right? Putting people's literal lives in danger. So that's what I have an issue with. I'm not saying that Biden did well. I'm saying our immigration system has been broken for 50 years, and it still sucks now.
Yeah, well, Trump's still doing better because the freaking encounters dropped by 94% at the very first full month of his term.
Yes, and why is that? What is an encounter, sir?
And I know what an encounter is. It means they caught them, and that means that they're dropping. That means there's less of a chance of people actually getting into the country.
Yeah. By caught them, what do you mean, sir?
Well, they're detained and sent back to their country.
No. I didn't ask what happens after they catch them. I said, what do you mean by catch them?
To catch them, they stop them from going inside of the country.
Gotcha. So what if somebody comes up and just walks through a port of entry that doesn't have a legal status when they do it, and then applies for a legal status? Is that an encounter?
Yeah.
Right. So literally people that were coming into the country legally were the majority of the encounters, because asylum seeking was at a record high and freaking refugee status was at a record high. Like you said, for all those people that were given notices to appear in paroles, those were at a super record high under the Biden administration, but they calmed down because there was less of a flow as we got further away from COVID and the ending of Title 42. So what Donald Trump did was he shut off legal forms of migration, which is the reason why encounters dropped. Okay, if he was to allow people to legally come here the way that our law allows them to come here, then the encounters would go back up. So all you're doing is just saying thank you, Donald Trump.
You don't need to go through a port of entry and apply. You can do it online from your own country.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can. You can apply for a visa in your own country online.
I'm not talking about a visa. I'm talking about refugee and asylum seeking. Specifically asylum seeking. No, you can't. 8 U.S. Code 1158. What does it say?
I don't know.
What's the first step for seeking asylum?
I don't know. I've never sought asylum.
Okay, well, I've never sought asylum either, but I can read the law, right? And what the law says is the first thing that you have to be, the first thing that makes you eligible to be able to seek asylum in this country is you have to have both feet on U.S. soil. You have to. You have to be an undocumented immigrant in order to seek asylum in this country per our own laws under Title VIII. You can't. Now, what Joe Biden did was he allowed people to be able to do things like the CBP app, where it allowed people to give all their paperwork, so all their background check stuff could be done. They could make sure they actually had a valid claim to asylum, and that way, when they got to the United States, right, when they showed up to Border Patrol, they could say, "Hey, I've already done all this stuff." And then they could, they could step into U.S. soil and then claim asylum, which was, again, an illegal entry. And then they could claim asylum, and then that would just relieve a lot of the paperwork burden that happened for a Border Patrol at the southern border. But you can't apply for asylum from an embassy or and wait you can't do that.
So what you're saying is the people who sought asylum were counted as encounters.
Correct.
Okay.
Whether they were allowed in for asylum or not.
I can definitely tell you that not all of the encounters were asylum seekers.
Did I ever make the statement that all encounters were asylum seekers? Did I ever say those words? Then why are you making that claim?
There's no point of bringing that up. You had no point.
Yes, there is a huge point, because the majority of them were asylum seekers and people seeking refugee status. The majority. That just means yes, easily.
How?
Like because people study this, sir. Because lots and lots of people. No, you said how. I said easily.
No. I said.
Then you said. Can I prove that? Yeah, sure. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. This isn't the one I want. La da 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 da. I have a couple sources here. Yeah, cool. Here's the one I like for this one. Now I have tons of sources that can prove this, to be completely honest with you, but this is the one that I like the best, because it's very, very numbers driven. Right?
Yeah.
So if you actually, and let me pull this up on the screen, let me put it in here, and actually I'll move that down. Let me move this one down a bit so I can make sure that people can see it. Let's move it in front of my face. How about that? You guys don't want to see me anyway. All right. Let's move it in front of my face. So right here it says this is the Brookings.edu, right? So the Brookings Institute. And it says in migration components, and it gives it for 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Well, the projection of 2026, obviously we don't have full numbers. We actually don't even have full numbers for 2025 because the numbers that have been reported are only through like May. So we don't actually have the full numbers of it yet, right? But it shows parole, NTA, U4U, and CHNV, right? Which are those people that were given court dates that are here legally, like you said, right? And so in 2022, it's it was 1.5 million. 2023 it was 2.1 million. 2024 is 1.4 million. And then it was entries without inspection, right? Which is the next thing that comes down. So that's people that that just came around on a projected status, because we don't actually 100% know that, right? And that's about 800,000, and about 300,000 in 2024. And then we have temporary visas
the article?
Macroeconomic implications of immigration flows in 2025 and 2026 with a January 2026 update. Can I finish reading it now?
Yeah.
Perfect. And then we have temporary visas, permanent visas issued abroad, and refugees 2022, 2023, and 2024. Those are the people like you're talking about that you can actually, get before you come here, right? And that was about 2.7 million in 2022, 2.9 million in 2023, and 2.9 million in 2024 also. Then it actually talks about how we see a reduction in green cards in the United States. How we've seen that in since Trump took over, how we've seen a reduction in refugees, a reduction in temporary visas, and a reduction in people that were given NTA or parole, as far as
which is a good thing.
Why is that a good thing?
Because we don't need those people here.
Why do we not need people legally here?
No, the people you were talking about, the
people on NTAs and parole
are
are legally here. Why do we not need people legally here?
No, if they're on parole, that means they did something illegal and they should be kicked out. We don't need a bunch of criminals in our country. And with temporary visas, that means they're not, planning to stay here for long. So,
all parole means is that they are temporarily in the United States legally until their court case is decided. It doesn't mean they've gone to court and instead of jail after committing a crime, they've been put on parole.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I.e., asylum seekers in the United States are considered parole entries.
Yeah, well, the reduction in asylum seeking is good. So
why?
Biden wasn't doing that. What?
Why is it good? Why is it good that people that are freaking, that have a valid reason to seek asylum in the United States can't come here? Why is that good?
Because there was too many asylum seekers. That's why.
What number is too many of amount of people that are escaping for their lives or freedom or safety? What's the number of too many of those people?
I think there was 3 million or 2.5 million. I didn't look at it a while ago, but that were in New York staying in hotels.
Yes, and why were they in New York? And why were they? Do you live in New York? By the way,
I don't live in New York.
Okay. Do you own a hotel there or anything?
No.
Okay, perfect. Then I'm asking you, sir, if people are escaping countries due to political or religious persecution, if they're in fear for their lives or their family's lives or their safety or family's safety, and they have a valid amount of evidence that can show that they are in fear of that and they have a valid claim, then why is it a good thing that we have less of those people that are allowed in and therefore in danger?
That those things are happening to them, but it doesn't mean our tax dollars should be, tax dollars should be used in big amounts to fund this.
They haven't been. In the last trackable year, undocumented immigrants
paid
I'm still in the middle of my sentence.
Okay.
Last trackable year, they paid $98 billion in taxes. Yeah, state, local, and federal taxes, and they were a burden on the federal system of $33 billion. So not only were they not costing us tax dollars, they were actually paying into our system more money than they were taking.
Just in New York, for those illegal immigrants, I think it was like 300,000. I think it went into the bill. I don't know the exact number, but I know the tax dollars that used to pay for all their stuff, not just the hotels, food and whatever else they needed. It went into the billions.
Okay, we can talk about New York, but you did hear the words that I just said, right? Because you're
Yeah.
saying that it's a benefit, right? Because you don't want your tax dollars going to it. And so far, I'm not only showing that A, nobody's tax dollars are going to it because they pay more in taxes than they take out, but B, you don't live in New York, so zero of your tax dollars went to this problem.
It's tax dollars that could be going towards better things.
It's tax dollars that be
benefit
going to
the
New
country.
Yorkers because it's New Yorkers' tax dollars, not yours.
Okay.
So why are we
So
talking about New York tax
billions and-
dollars? Sir, I just
I'm
told you the
talking about-
federal tax dollars, the literal federal tax dollars, and showed that they were a surplus. Actually, the Cato Institute did a study that said since 1980, they've been a surplus to our economy and our taxes of the tune of like $14.6 trillion. Right? A surplus. Right? So your entire statement saying, oh, you don't want your tax dollars going to it, they're not. The migrants are paying their own tax dollars, okay? But if you really, really need to address New York for some reason, because that's the only, issue that you can think of that you have with this, okay? I'm going to let you know that the only reason they were in New York taking those tax dollars is because Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis sent legal people there against their will, literally committed human trafficking, okay, and sent people to a state that in the middle of the winter gets below freaking zero and sent them there with absolutely no plan, no place to stay, and no heads up. So will you please like to explain to me why, okay, what New York we're supposed to do other than let them stay on the streets and freeze to death?
They could put them somewhere else that doesn't cost that much
Where?
money. They don't need to be in a hotel.
Where?
I don't know. Come up with a different idea that doesn't
Come up with a
spend
different idea.
bunch
They weren't
of-
given a chance to come up with a different idea because they were sent there without notice. If they were sent there with notice, not to mention the fact that Texas gets paid literally hundreds of millions of dollars every single year just to make sure they have facilities built to house migrants, and they sent those
Okay,
migrants
then if you
without.
want-
Hold
if you
on,
want asylum
sir,
seekers
sir,
in New York to
sir,
build facilities.
sir.
Yeah,
Do you have some self-control issues you need to work out?
I don't have some self-control issues.
Then can I
I'm
finish my
trying to
sentence
actually
if
have
you
a
don't mind? Because it's like the
conversation, and
fifth.
I can't say something while you're talking.
You're trying to
That's
have
what
a
conversation
conversation. I was literally answering the question you were about to say before you asked it, but you had to cut me off just because you had to say something.
is. Okay, say what you're going to say.
Thank you. That literally sent them there with nothing. Texas gets paid hundreds of millions of dollars every year to be able to build facilities to house migrants. They sent them there without notice and without sending any of the money, any of the tax dollars that actually go to housing migrants. And they had no other choice. What does New York have? They have hotels. So what did they do? They found hotels that were already condemned or were under reconstruction where these floors weren't being used at all. Right. And what they told the hoteler is like, hey, these places are condemned. You're not using them at all. We'll pay you a little bit of money to have people, have people in them during these cold winter months. And they were like, cool, sounds like a good deal to us.
Wait,
Hotel owners were happy.
Who sent the asylum seekers there?
Ron DeSantis.
Well, if we didn't take that many asylum seekers, then we wouldn't have had the problem of spending that many tax dollars on them, and that's why Trump is reducing the amount of asylum seekers.
Hold on. Did you hear anything about Texas like having to throw people in hotels?
No, I didn't hear anything about that.
You know why you didn't hear anything about that?
Why?
Because Texas has long-standing facilities to help migrants as they temporarily come here until they can get enough paperwork and be able to move out into society. The reason why you didn't hear about that in Texas is because your tax dollars have already gone to those facilities. You're actually 25. Those facilities were probably built before you were born. So your parents' tax dollars went to building those facilities. They sent them to a place where those facilities didn't exist on purpose, so that tax dollars would have to go to putting them in places like hotels. They did that on purpose. They did it. Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott, specifically Greg Abbott in this case, but specifically Greg Abbott specifically sent the migrants to a place knowing that there was not enough facilities or housing for them, with no ability, no time, like no lead up to say, hey, we'll give you time to build those facilities, and no money that they get to help maintain those facilities. Right? And
if
just
we didn't have
there.
enough facilities, then they shouldn't have taken them in.
We do have enough facilities, you ding dong. They're in Texas.
You
The
literally
facilities
just said
are
that they
in
sent them there because there wasn't enough
They didn't
facilities.
take them in, sir. They were put on buses and they were told, get off the fucking bus in the middle of the fucking
Why
street.
didn't they go to the Texas facilities then?
They did go to Texas. Do you know who Greg Abbott is? Is that we're running into a problem here? Do you know who Greg Abbott is?
No, I don't know who Greg Abbott is.
Oh, he's the fucking governor of Texas. So when I say Greg Abbott sent them, that is what I am saying, sir, is that they were at the facilities in Texas and they were removed from those facilities in Texas to go sit where there are no facilities.
Why'd they do that?
Because he just wanted to make a big scene and try to piss off some libs at the expense of people's lives and your tax dollars.
Yeah, that doesn't sound true. Can you?
I don't care what it
prove
sounds
that?
true. Yes, it's on Greg Abbott's website. How about that for proof?
Okay, well,
Greg Abbott says that he did it.
We don't need 300,000. That's how many were in New York in hotels. Just don't take them in.
Don't
Trump
take
is
them in. So let me
reducing the
ask you a
asylum
question.
seekers.
So let me ask you a question. So if they're sent there on buses against their will without notice to New York, what are they
We
supposed to do?
shouldn't have let them in.
They shouldn't have let them into New York?
No, we shouldn't have let them into the country.
Oh, gotcha. So we shouldn't allow people in fear for their lives, safety from religious and political persecution, or from multiple other things. We shouldn't let them in the country, even though they pay for themselves, right? So they cost us no tax dollars. They're a positive to our GDP. They help create jobs in the United States. They help create industry.
We should
not let them in.
There's not ones we don't have places for.
We have places for them.
You said a bunch of crap about
I literally
the governor
don't know.
of
I
Texas
don't, sir.
shipping them to there. And you said it was to piss off of like the liberals.
They
and
were
you can't prove
in
that.
a place that had facilities. They were removed from the places with facilities and sent to a place without facilities. That way they could tell people like you, okay, who aren't going to research it, who aren't going to look into it, who aren't going to try to do, their due diligence. So they can tell people like you that it's because of a migrant problem, and people like you listen and repeat the bullshit. That's the sad part.
I'm not
sir.
repeating the bullshit.
You
I'm saying
are.
we shouldn't let
No,
them in.
you
That's
are.
what
You are
Trump's doing. We shouldn't let that
regurgitating.
many-
You are
we shouldn't let that many
regurgitating.
asylum
You are
seekers in.
regurgitating talking points. That is all you are doing.
You're
You are
regurgitating
regurgitating talking points, and you don't know anything about it.
I do know about it. Yes.
You didn't
I'm
know
not
Greg Abbott
regurgitating
was the
talking
fucking
points.
governor of
You're
Texas.
just deflecting.
You didn't know
I
anything
say
about
the
that.
same thing, and you deflect it
You
and go
thought
towards
when I
something
said parole, you thought I meant people convicted of crimes. And you're telling me you know stuff about this?
Oh, sorry, I don't know everything. Oh, my bad.
Sir, I'm not sure what you do know, to be completely honest with you. And the sad part is I'm
regurgitating the same.
The sad part is, sir,
The
sad part is, sir, is I'm trying to educate you. Like, I'm trying really hard. Like, I really am. Because you sound
I'm regurgitating the same talking
you
points.
sound like like you don't know much. And I'm trying, like, I put on my teacher hat. Okay, I put on my teacher hat and I'm like, you know what, sir? I'm going to try to teach you. I'm going to do what your high school and your parents failed to do. I'm going to teach you, like, right now. And you won't even take the free education.
There's no free education. You say I'm regurgitating the same talking points. All you keep doing is saying the exact same thing, which proves
because
nothing.
You keep repeating the same thing, sir. If you would
and
listen
you keep saying the exact same thing,
yes, sir. If
nothing.
you keep saying the same thing, then I have to repeat the same response because the response doesn't change from you saying it, sir. If you would come up with something original to say, then I could come up with an original response. You see how that works?
I came up with something original to say.
Okay, what was that?
All you're doing is repeating the same thing.
What do you have original to say, sir?
What I just said, that
No.
we shouldn't let that many illegal immigrants, and that's not illegal immigrants, that many asylum seekers in, and that's what Trump's doing. He's lowering the amount of asylum seekers that come into the country.
Cool. And I asked you why. That was the question that you keep trying to escape from.
Don't have
you've gone
room
to
for
New
them.
York. I see. Now, sir, what am I going to say now?
You literally just
No,
said
sir.
that.
What am I going to
You
say
said
now?
there
Because
wasn't enough
I've
room in the
repeated that
Texas
same
facility.
response. I've repeated that same. You said that same thing 3 times. I've responded with the same thing 3 times. Okay. So what is going to be my response to this?
Okay, well, I don't know. He's still doing
You
way
don't,
better.
and that's why I have to keep repeating the same
I
response.
don't care if you don't
That's
believe
why
he's
I
securing the
have
border.
to
He's
keep.
still doing
That's
10
why
times
I
better
have to
things
keep
everywhere
repeating
else
the
in the
same
country.
response, sir. That's why I have to keep repeating the same response, because the first 3 times I said the response, it didn't stick. Okay. If it would stick, if it were just like, if there was just something between the ears to block it, like to just stop it for like a second,
all across the country.
okay, then we wouldn't be in this problem.
He's doing, even if you don't believe he's securing the border, he's still doing better than Biden ever did.
I've already gone through this part too. You see how you're again regurgitating? Sir, if you don't
I'm not
have anything
regurgitating
original to
it.
say,
You're-
I'll just move on to the next person. It's not that big of a deal. But now you're just wasting my time by repeating the same thing you've said
I'm not
3 or 4
wasting your
times.
time.
You are wasting my fucking time, sir. You're repeating the exact same thing that
I'm
you've
not
repeated
repeating the
over
exact-
and
okay,
over and
I
over.
can't do this.
I've already. Please don't. Please
You're-
don't. You're
you're
not
too
good at
slow.
this. You
I
should
don't know
stop.
how to
You
talk
should
to
really,
you. You
really
don't
stop, sir.
understand.
Sir, then don't. Please go away. I am getting really, really tired of
Oh my
repeating the
God, yeah.
same thing to you
You're not
over
repeating
and
the same
over
thing.
and
You just
over
don't know
and
how to
over and over.
debate.
You're
Just
not
admit it.
hurting
Say, I
my
don't know
you're
how to
not
debate.
hurting my feelings by leaving, sir. You're not hurting my feelings by leaving. Okay? You don't want to listen to anything I have to say, and you don't want to move on to any type of original point that we can have a conversation about. So there's really no point in you being here, okay? You're just saying the same 3 things you heard on Fox News over and over and over and over and over, and I just keep trying to help you out. There you go. Now he's gone. Anyways, y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Bro, like we don't have room. We have room in Texas. They sent them to where there wasn't room. But we don't have room. Sir, hundreds of millions of tax dollars go to make sure that we have room in Texas. We have facilities. We have all the things we need. That's why you didn't hear any Texas complaining about that, did you? But we don't have room. Sir, they had no choice but to put them in New York hotels because, you know, it was winter and they had no other place to put them. But they don't have room. That was literally the last 20 minutes of my life. Was exactly what we just said right there. And he ended it with, I said, say something original. And he said, we don't have room. Oh my fucking God. I lost brain cells during that conversation. Anyways, hello, how are you? Sorry, I don't know why I said hello, how are you? I didn't even answer the phone yet. If you guys like support the live, I really appreciate you guys. I do have super chat, super stickers, pay links in the bio. You know, the Cash Apps, the Venmos, all those things. They're all at PolyPolitics. So if you like support, I appreciate that. Truth is Key. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Said, did you hear that the White House wants to change the name of ICE to NICE? That will force newscasts to say, they'll force newscasters to say that, they want to change it to National Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So that all the newscasters have to call it NICE instead of ICE, which is actually... I'm sorry, my level of petty does find that hilarious, okay? Like, I don't support ICE in any way, shape, or form, right? But my level of I'm fighting with my hate for ICE and my love for pettiness. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's petty as fuck, bro. That is so petty. That is so petty. And I love the pettiness. I really, really do. Also, FFT, thank you so much for the $2. Another distraction from the Epstein files. Yeah, I've heard that a few times too. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing off. Yeah, I've heard that too. Another that, well, you know, whatever they can get through there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for the support. Again, y'all feel like support. I do have all those fun things. I also have like 5 into the hat and mustaches. If you guys would like to help support over there too, that'd really mean a lot to me. So I really appreciate that. I think we're trying to hit out some gift gallery stuff too. Vicky, thank you so much for the floating heart. Valerie, thank you so much for the laughing disco. And Janelle, also, thank you so much for the star. We're going to move on to the next caller and keep this thing going. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Truthfully, happy Monday. Welcome back to the week. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 37.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
I do. Now, no, just real quick before we get into this, let's keep it respectful. like I'm not an idiot like that last guy. That was just completely ridiculous.
Sure, my respect level is completely dependent on how you have the conversation. That is it. So
I got you.
Why do you support Trump?
I got you. Okay. There are certain things that I do support, and it may not necessarily be Trump, but certain things that I look at, and it's like sometimes it's like, why do other people look at me like I'm crazy, right? Because I'm a Christian, right? I'm not out here, trying to put my religion on everyone or anything like that. Everyone has the right to choose what they want to do or not believe in anything. You know what I mean?
Do you choose to dress yourself up like Jesus with glowing hands, talking about healing people?
I don't do that.
Oh, Trump does though, and you still support
But
him.
I do. Okay, you got me there.
That's like the number one Bible. The Bible tells you not to be. Doesn't he say there's no other gods before me? Keep the name of Christ holy.
I don't. People were.
Bible says all those things, and Donald Trump is up there dressing up like Jesus and talking about healing people,
which I think is wrong.
With the lead singer of Gore in the clouds,
which I think is wrong. And if I can be completely honest with you, if we're looking at where Jesus was from, he was probably not this white guy.
No, he definitely wasn't a white guy. But why are you still supporting Trump? That's the question. You're saying you're a Christian that still supports Trump, even though that Donald Trump is out there doing exactly what the Bible tells you not to do, like the number one thing, and you're still supporting him?
Well, if you just look at it like that, then sure. Even in the Bible, God, he wiped out entire civilizations.
The Bible says, beware of false prophets. How much more of a false prophet can you get than a guy who literally posts a picture of himself as Jesus?
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I know that he did that, and I don't agree with that. But the reason why I do agree with him a little bit is because, a lot of people call on here and they ask, they have a problem with people using the bathroom in certain places. I find that hilarious because that is nothing that anybody needs to be worried about. But all I'm saying is my religion does mean something to me. And it's okay if it doesn't mean anything to you. Right?
It doesn't mean anything to me,
we can agree that.
But I'm still trying to figure out why you support Trump.
That's
the part I'm trying to get to, sir. And it seems like we're taking a really long time to get there.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, sir. It's just like we're going all the way around every bush, except for the question of why do you still support Trump? Like you said, you're a Christian, and that's the opposite of supporting Trump. And I'm just trying to find out
a military veteran, and
another reason to not support Trump.
Military veterans. Yeah, and well, my thing is, I guess I'm asking you for help, and I'm asking you for some knowledge, because a lot of people that because I joined the military just straight out of high school, and I'm stuttering now because I feel like you're about to roast me. But
you're right.
Yeah, all right, man. You have a good night.
No,
man.
Stop. First of all, thank you for your service. Okay, let's start there. Okay,
yeah.
Look, I love my vets, I really do. So I'm trying real hard not to roast you. Okay, but but this is kind of crazy, man. Donald Trump literally is getting American soldiers killed for a war that the United States doesn't have to fight right now. That they're fighting in the name of Israel. That's happening right now. Hundreds of billions of dollars going of your tax
Yeah.
dollars going to fight that thing. He literally called veterans suckers and losers. Right? Wouldn't visit them at the cemetery, the World War II cemetery in France. Right? Say he doesn't like his veterans to be shot down or to be captured. Talking about John McCain, who was literally at the Hanoi Hilton in Vietnam. Right? A literal POW and a war
and I'm from
hero.
Arizona.
And he,
I didn't like
yeah,
John McCain ever, but
yeah,
anyway,
I
I'm
didn't.
not. My bad.
Regardless of whether you
I'm not
like
trying to.
whether you like John McCain or not, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that he was a fighter pilot in war that got shot down and was a POW, right?
Well,
And you
that's
should have
right.
respect for that, regardless. And Donald Trump doesn't have respect
I
for that.
do.
He's a 3-time draft dodger, right? Who, when literally just recently told that was like literally was like, oh, like yeah, there's gonna be a whole bunch of more soldiers like killed for this thing. Well, on the exact opposite of that, right? Biden gave the largest raise to junior enlisted military since just after 9/11, right? They gave silent things like the PACT Act, right? Which helped to get veterans health care for things like burn pits, Agent Orange, and toxic chemicals that they experience downrange. He was a big part of the Veterans Access to Care Act, which if you're a veteran and you're on the VA, you're probably very familiar with it. But if you remember way back in like 2016, when all of a sudden you could go see any doctor that you wanted to, especially if the VA was backed up, that was partially because of Biden also, right? So and Biden did all that without sending any of our troops to any new wars, right? Without committing our military to go die for another country. They did all of those things. That's what I'm saying. And let's also remember this. And I'm just gonna say one more thing. And hopefully this doesn't feel like a roast, because I'm really trying to tone it in a way that does not sound like a roast. So please, I'm sorry if I don't.
No, you good, man.
You
You're doing good. You're doing good.
But let's start with this. Okay, when you joined the military, you took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Donald Trump is in violation of the first,
Yes,
second,
that's
fourth,
correct.
fifth, sixth, seventh, 14th, and 24th, and probably the 25th Amendment.
This call is being
currently.
recorded.
Probably currently. All right. Why is my call being
This
recorded?
call
I really
is no
don't care.
longer being recorded.
All right. Well, that was easy.
Hit the button. Oh my God.
You're good. I don't care if I'm being recorded. These are literally recorded all day. It just seemed.
I didn't do that. Yeah.
But regardless, that's all
do
I'm
some
saying,
crazy
sir, is literally the oath that you took was to support and defend the Constitution. Okay, not a president, not any president, not any person, and you're supposed to defend it against people that are in violation of that Constitution, right? So that's why I have that's why I have a problem with you supporting Trump as now both a Christian and a veteran. And maybe you're just trying to learn, and I'm more than happy to teach. I love to teach. Okay. I really, really do. All right. But you really got to take a step back, brother, and look at this shit and be like, is this really what I care about? Is this really what I support? Is this really what's helping me? What's helping my family? Is helping my, brothers and sisters in arms that, or any of those things? Is that really what's helping me and helping us to progress? And I think your answer is going to be no. I think your answer is going to be no real quick.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, there's not a single thing that you just said right now that I disagree with. It's some of it is just truth, and it's, to me, wrong, dumb.
You're breaking up a little bit, sir. You said to me, and then the reception broke out.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was just saying, there's not a single thing that you just said that I could completely deny or disagree with. But all I'm saying is, like, I don't know. It just seems like, why does anybody support this guy if he's just so horrible? And I guess I'm just lost, man.
A lot of it.
And
white supremacy,
a lot of
misogyny,
military. Yeah.
A lot of. I'm sorry, you were talking about military people. I apologize. Sorry, I thought you meant just people.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We're just talking.
Go ahead. You took a pause. My bad. Go ahead. What were you saying?
But no, I was just saying, like, a lot of veterans, they're Republican, like, hardcore. And it's like, I can't agree with everything. that y'all are talking about, And then as soon as I say something, it's like they're ready to just not be my friend anymore, So it's dang.
There's a large swath of veterans that do not support Trump and are actually, you would consider themselves Democrats or leftists. I think by the last polling of veterans, it was just over 30%, which is not the majority. I understand that. It's not the majority, right? But it is a number, and that number is growing daily, right? That literal number is growing daily, right? But yeah, you do have a large portion that is, but I think I think we should be individuals here, right? And I think that a lot of veterans they more supported things on the right because of things like what they perceive to be gun rights, right? And I think that they're starting to see that's not as accurate as they thought.
More
they
guns.
were.
It's like, bro, more guns is not the issue. Please, it's just not.
Yeah. Remember, you got a Fox News host as Secretary of Defense. So.
That's, I don't know what to say, man. Anyway, I just I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you for having me on. I definitely respect you. I listen to you a lot, and I'm not a crazy MAGA guy, I just want you to know that. And there are other people that are kind of stuck like me, but you make it seem like, hey, what's right is right. And I get you. I really do. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Poly, man, I'm not going to take up any more of your time, man.
You have a good one, all right? He was cool. He was fine. As far as people I talk to, that's about as good as we get. So I got no problem with that. As far as my guests go, that's about as good as it gets. Y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys. Also hit that like button if you haven't already. And if you're on the clock app, keep hitting it until your fingers hurt. We're gonna move on to the next caller. Keep this thing going. I really appreciate it. And again, if you guys like support, I have all the ways. Pay links at PolyPolitics, super chats, super stickers, gifting, all that fun stuff. So I really appreciate you guys. Oh no, we're skipping you.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
I'm pretty good. So first I want to say that last call you just had went a lot more smooth than the one before it. I gotta say, and I'm not a huge either supporter. I'm more just a supporter of just making this country better.
Me too.
So we could both agree on that, right?
Yep. Sure can.
Okay, cool. All right, second thing. Obama, annually deported way more immigrants than Trump has.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean on a year-by-year basis. So, with the whole ICE headache and everything, I get the level of violence created by ICE is a little much. Actually, a whole bunch more than needs to happen because that's crossfire on us citizens, and that's not cool. However, you would agree that a lot of the immigrants that have been deported so far have been criminals, and they have been people that have been look at the fraud in Minnesota with the child care fraud. That was a huge fraud ring that has been now has been turned over on its ass essentially, and that was billions and billions of dollars of fraud made by who? Somalians. You know what I mean?
By Americans.
Wait, no.
Yes, the ringleader of that entire thing was a white lady. Let's start with that. It was a white lady, American citizen. Most of them were American citizens that were of Somali descent, and all of them.
I'm looking at the data right here, though.
Sure, give me the data.
Most of them were 43% of all of the people that were in that fraud circle were Somalians that have been deported.
Have been deported doesn't mean they weren't legally here.
They weren't legally here.
They were. They were here under temporary protected status.
Come on, the chance of all of them being in temporary
I
protective
didn't
status.
say all of them. You just said 43%.
Okay, you said okay, but you're saying the majority, right?
No, I said that the majority of them were American citizens. You just already proved
They-
that by saying
but
only
they-
43% had been deported, which means that the other 57%
No, I said 43% were
American citizens.
Somalians that had been deported.
Correct, which means 57 of them were not 57% were not Somalians that had been deported, which means they were U.S.
That doesn't
citizens.
mean that they were. That doesn't mean that they were all U.S. citizens.
Well, do you have data to say I'm wrong?
Hang on, let me check.
I don't know the exact percentage numbers, and it really doesn't matter. The people that were there were under temporary protected status, and if you understand temporary protected status, you will find out that if you commit a felony, then you lose your legal status. So
Right,
yes, it
right,
makes
right.
complete sense that they were here legally. They were then convicted of a crime, right? And then they were deported afterwards. That makes complete sense.
Okay, even if most of them were American citizens, because I'd rather talk to you. I'd rather talk to you nice, chill, and calm and collected, because we're both Americans.
Well, that's
and we
fine.
don't-
I have a few
think-
things that I need to respond to what you said before we go any further. First, Obama did deport more people, and it should make you very, very, very make you question a whole lot of stuff. That Barack Obama deported more people with less ICE agents, okay, with apparently less migrants to pick from, right? So they're harder to find. And did it without deporting all of these American citizens. Did it without.
No, I agree that part.
Hold on, sir. Please.
I was
Let
just
me
saying I
get through
agree.
it. Perfect. Let me finish. Okay. I'll also say
Okay.
without building warehouses, building all these freaking crazy detention centers where people aren't being fed, where they're sending children and infants and all that sort of stuff. So it's not a matter, sir. And again, the deportation things are an issue, right? I think that they were an issue under Obama's administration. I think they're an issue under Trump's administration. The difference is the humanity in which they freaking operate those things, right? So where Obama did have some issues, right? There were some issues, especially early on in his term,
Right.
with things that are happening, and those were corrected as he found out about them, and they were trying to weed out problems in our system because we have an antiquated immigration system. Donald Trump is doing the opposite. The entire point of his system is the cruelty, right? And that's what I have a problem with, right? I have a problem
So
with
wait, you
ICE
think that
agents
it's the
getting on
main
buses.
focus?
What?
You think the cruelty is the main focus of why he does it?
100%.
The way he does it?
100%. Not even
Oh,
question.
come on, man.
Sir, you don't send ICE agents onto school buses to follow kids home to try to bait their parents out of their house unless cruelty is the point, okay? You don't put people in mass and zip time and throw them in a van and send them to a detention center 2,000 miles away for months, right? Without deporting them, without giving them legal counsel, without freaking, giving them access to their family or due process, right? Without any of those
They're not
things.
American citizens. They don't
It
get due
doesn't-
process.
Yes, you do. First of all,
No,
but
you
again,
don't.
can I finish my point, please? I'll
Sure,
argue that
but
one next. Okay,
enact
that's
it.
totally fine. Okay, but regardless, okay, you don't do that and then leave people without due process in a place for months. Okay, unless you are just trying to be cruel to people, because you know what they weren't doing under the Obama administration? They weren't building a whole bunch of detention centers where people were staying for months, because the people that they were deporting, they were just deporting, not putting them in horrible living conditions without due process for an extended period of time. With that said, no, sir, the Constitution of the United States is very, very clear in the 14th Amendment that all people within the jurisdiction thereof of the United States gets due process. It does not matter if you're a U.S. citizen. And you don't want it to just be U.S. citizens anyway. It would be bad for you.
They get okay. So I'm looking at the data in the U.S. Constitution under the Fifth Amendment. No person shall be deprived of liberty without due process. That is correct. However, there are certain court proceedings that could take months for them to have the due process that you are talking about. Sometimes it takes upwards to 4 to 8 months.
And
well, okay, but you're talking about how you're saying that they're in these terrible conditions for long periods of time. Sometimes they have to be in order to be received that due process.
They're there for months without even being able to talk to a lawyer. These aren't court proceedings that are lasting months. These are people that are being housed without a charge and not given any due process.
You do realize American citizens go battle this all the time, though, right?
Battle due process? Yeah, and their cases are dismissed when they're not given due process.
I mean,
Yeah. Like,
okay, so my question is,
have you ever heard of like like being Mirandized?
of course,
Yeah, that's part of due process. That's one of the reasons
yeah,
why
I get
people
that.
have to be Mirandized, and of course, there's some leeway to that, of course. But I'm just making a hyperbolic
Right.
example of this certain situation, right? But that's part of due process, right? Somebody can't just like break into your house and take evidence without a warrant, right? Because that goes against due
Right.
process, and your case can be dismissed if you don't have that due process. But that's followed by U.S. citizens. That's followed by documented migrants, undocumented migrants, people that are on visas. Doesn't matter. Everybody gets due process.
Right. The only argument I was simply making there is, you said that they're in these harsh conditions for long periods of time. Sometimes they have to be because due process takes that long.
Well, first of all, sir, they're not getting due process, which I've already said multiple times, but I'll repeat it one more time. Okay? The people in places like Dilley, Texas, or Alligator, Alcatraz are not there awaiting their court cases. Okay, they're not awaiting a judge to rule. They are there without having access to a judge or a lawyer. That is a huge difference. Second of all, we also have rules in this country against inhumane punishment of prisoners. So if they were in there, be waiting their trial, and let's also be clear: if you're there for a crime, then a judge would have to rule that you are actually staying in custody until your court case is finished, not ICE just putting you there. But we also have things like the Star Tribune, the Houston Chronicles, who have all reported the absolutely horrific conditions of these detention centers. And we also have rules against, cruel and unusual punishment, about housing people, right, in places where they don't have correct food, they don't have correct water, where they don't have correct living conditions, even as as criminals, as convicted criminals, and none of these people are. But we have tons of reports of being fed sometimes one, sometimes no meals a day, the food having worms in it, not being edible, not having potable water, cells so crowded that not everybody can even lay down at the same times, and they have to take turns laying down because the rest of the people stand. Insufficient medical care, mass sexual assault.
Yeah, I'm not arguing the harsh conditions. I completely agree that the conditions are terrible. That was not my argument at all. My argument simply is that, do you really? This is my main question, and we kind of got off on a tangent, probably because of the way I worded the way I worded it. But my main question is that do you really think it is seriously that important for you to be on your YouTube channel streaming about Trump if you love this country so much? Don't you think that you would have better use of your time?
Nope.
And I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this to be ridiculing you at all by any means. I'm simply just curious.
No, this is of course the most effective use of my time. Why wouldn't it be?
Well, why do you think that's the case?
Why do you think it's not?
Because you could be out there, being a good humanitarian to people that need to have a voice about the harsh conditions in those jails, instead of talking to people about why they support Trump.
I'm talking to 1,700 people about the harsh conditions that are going on in those detention centers right now. What are you doing?
How are you talking to 1,700 people?
Because there's 450 in that live, and there's another another 250 in this one, so that's about I'm not quick at math, 700, and then there's another over 1,000 over on the Clock app, so yeah, 1,700 people.
The what app?
TikTok.
You have 1,000 people live on your TikTok right now.
Yeah, let's give it up in my live right now, huh? 11,000 or 1,026 right now to be completely.
Hey, more power to you. But you do realize that you're talking to people that are. I mean, you have people in your audience that already support what you're saying.
And I have people in my audience that don't.
Hang on. You don't think that you could make better use of your time instead of complaining about Trump?
Sir, what are you doing? Sorry, what are you fucking doing? Like, with all due honesty, what are you doing to help anyone?
I mean, I do a lot of things to help
a
lot of people every day.
Like what?
It doesn't matter.
No, like what? Give me an example.
That's That's not your interest. Your interest is Trump,
but
right?
your interest is mine. So the way that I help people and the way I
Okay,
get
you want to know
information
how
out-
you want to know how I help people,
No,
bro?
I'm not interested anymore. I asked you like 4 times.
Oh, okay.
Sir,
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Sir, just stop. What I do is I do I support and I freaking help people and I help situations like that in the best way that I know how to, for the most effective way that I know how to, okay? You're, with all due respect, not doing shit, all right? And then complaining about how I do my stuff. If you don't like the way that I do my stuff, feel free to hang up the phone. It's not going to hurt my feelings. But I really don't need you complaining about how I freaking do what I do and the people that I help, or need to go in to explain every single person that I've ever helped, or every single person that's, you know, come into my Discord or messaged me and told me how much I've helped their lives, or the countless freaking fundraising activities I've done for people in need, you know, and people that have needed help, or freaking literally helping children get housed through fundraising on this live, which I've done multiple times, or helping buy diapers for freaking children multiple times. You have no idea the amount of shit I'm able to do because I have this platform, okay? Because I have this platform, I am able to do so much and help so many people, okay? And if you don't like the way that I help people, congratulations, sir. I highly advise you hang up and swipe out, because nobody was asking your opinion.
Ridiculing people for their beliefs.
Sir, how have I ridiculed you except for you talking about
You
what
haven't
I'm doing
ridiculed
and
me
not
at all,
doing?
but the people
Then
that I've
what,
heard
sir?
you
I'm
in the
sorry.
past
Is that
48
I'm
hours
sorry.
on your
I'm
two
sorry. I'm
streams have
sorry,
been
sir.
abominable.
Oh, okay. And you're
You've
still
been,
here.
You have. You've been abominable, bro.
And you're still here.
Yeah, because I'm trying to teach you a
And
lesson
you're
now.
still
because-
here. Oh, you're teaching me a
Yeah,
lesson,
I mean,
sir.
I am
just
still here.
schooled
You
you
got to
on
talk.
the
Now I
immigration
get to
system
talk.
in the United
Now
States.
I get to talk. Now
No,
I
you
get to
don't.
talk.
No,
I
sir.
get to talk.
You
Okay.
talk when you're
So,
allowed to talk
basically-
on my live. You are here at my behest. Okay? I allow you to talk when I'm ready for you to talk. And you don't talk if not, sir. I allow open conversation for people that want to have debate about political topic. I do not have open conversation time for people that want to whine in my ear, okay?
Man, that is, dude, you are so dense, bro.
I also don't have time on my live for whining.
Well, then hang up the phone anytime you want it. It's your phone call.
Oh, and there he goes. Anyways, y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Oh, he thought when he yelled hang up the phone I wouldn't do it. Oh, that's cute. He thought I wouldn't do it. you don't know who you're playing with over here, dude. Who do you think you're playing with? All right, you know that some of you may have tried to call in earlier. We did have some people that were waiting. They've gone, and I had more people in here that might have been trying to call, but I shut off the lines. So the lines are back open now. I just shut them off for a second. I also need to, I may have made a mistake. Also, why is this doing that? Y'all, if you guys would like to support the live, again, I do have super chats, super stickers, all that fun stuff. So I really, really appreciate you guys. We are getting close to halfway on the little hat and mustaches. We're getting close to halfway. So if you guys would like to help me support in that, I really, really appreciate it. Maybe even help me clear that off my gift gallery. That would mean a lot to me. Let's see if we can get this thing up to 200. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, we're getting really close over there. And yeah, we'll try to get another caller. And we got people in the screening room right now, so people are about to. Hopefully, we have somebody to talk to soon. I'm looking for something. I can't find it. Yeah. Speaking of support, Vicky, thank you so much for the laughing disco. Trippy, thank you so much for the star. Casey, I saw that hat and mustache. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And Lovely Ghana said, why is he pocket watching, chastising someone because they live stream? He hating outside the club. Why? You can't even get in. How you gonna hate from outside the club? You can't even get in. You can't even get in. I thought I was actually being being real nice to him until the end, to be completely honest with you. I thought I was being very respectful until that part. Matt says, Screener just told me to get a life after I supported the show. That's not cool. Well, I also heard, Matt, that you were bragging about me getting taken down on another app. I heard you were in the chat bragging about getting me taken down on another app. That's what I heard. And if that's true, I'm not really surprised that she told you to get a live. But you can take the night off anyway. I've talked to you a few nights. You can take a night off. There was a chat for screeners. Hello, how are you?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
42.
Awesome. And you're from New Mexico?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah, New Mexico. Anyways, do you still support Trump?
Yeah. Well, I don't support everything he does, but yes, I support a lot of it.
Awesome. And what do you, Courtney, thank you so much, by the way. I really appreciate that, Courtney. W's in the chat for Courtney. So what do you support that he's doing?
Well, I currently support the war in Iran.
And why is that?
Why is that? Because they're the number one sponsor of terrorism in the world. So why wouldn't you support going to war against a country like that?
Because we're not doing anything to stop them from doing that?
Attacking their nuclear sites, bringing down their Air Force, their Navy, their ballistic missile production. The blockade right now is basically ruining them financially. So how are they not stopping that?
How does taking out their ballistic sites, taking out their nuclear weapons, and taking out their Navy, how does that stop them from funding terrorism?
Well, they're stopping the funding from terrorism by hurting their economy.
Well, that came with the blockade, but the blockade's going to be the blockade's going to be released. I mean, that's a very, very temporary inconvenience. We could have done the blockade without the entire war. If that was really our goal, we could have done that without.
Well, that's how they're stopping the funding by stopping their economy. They're stopping the funding. So, do you support the war in Iran?
Absolutely not. No.
Why not?
Because they were not getting anything out of it.
So are you delusional like the rest of the liberal left that thinks that we should lose this war just to prove Trump wrong?
Oh, I don't think we should lose this war. I think we are losing this war. I don't want us to lose any war. Like I didn't want us. I didn't want us to spend. Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. I didn't want us to freaking to send 2 decades in Afghanistan to turn the country back over to the Taliban. I didn't want that either, right? I didn't want us to leave freaking Vietnam, even though it was before I was born, with my tail tucked between our legs, right? I didn't want that. Right. I don't want at any point in time for us to lose any war whatsoever because I love my country. All right. I'm just looking at it from a completely pragmatic standpoint. And so that we are losing this war and I don't see how we're going to get to a point where we're winning it.
It's impossible for you. I don't know how you could say that we're losing this war. How are we losing this war?
Yeah. What was our objective?
In which way are we losing this war?
What's our main objective that helps the United States? Because it doesn't help the United States to take out their nuclear program that apparently we took out last June. So I don't even know what we're hitting because Donald Trump said that we completely destroyed all of their nuclear facilities, right? And put them decades away from getting a nuclear weapon. That was said last June, right? And then before that, in March, Tulsi Gabbard, the DNI, said that they weren't trying to build nuclear weapons to begin with. And I agree that they should not have a nuclear weapon. I don't want that at all. But again, the only reason that they started enriching uranium to begin with at this level was because Donald Trump pulled us out of the JCPOA. So if he just not done that, we would have never ran into this issue from the start. Taking out their ballistic missiles doesn't help. Hold on, sir. I got like 3 different things to respond to you on. You gotta let me finish all 3, okay?
All right.
All right, perfect. Taking out their ballistic missiles when they didn't have ballistic missiles that could reach the United States and weren't an imminent threat to us whatsoever, that doesn't help us as the United States, right? That doesn't help us at all, right? So I don't know what that helps. Taking out their navy wasn't doing anything. Their navy was just sitting there stagnant. They weren't blocking the Strait of Hormuz. They weren't putting anything, weren't putting anything in place. So therefore, again, all of these things that you're saying that we're doing, how does any of that actually help us, sir?
It helps us in many ways. First of all, it helps our allies around the world because their ballistic missiles might not reach us now, but if they keep producing it, eventually will, number one. Number two, it can reach our allies. They're saying it can reach different parts of Europe, okay? It can reach Israel, which is our ally.
Yeah, it can
Saudi
reach
Arabia,
Israel, but
UAE.
again, it could reach Israel. That is the one that they definitely could reach. But again, the only time they've ever even tried to use those against Israel is when Israel has attacked them first. The EU is not concerned because they also realize that they're not going to try to attack them. And literally, if Iran tried to freaking send a ballistic missile into the EU would demolish them. Okay, like demolish them. If they literally, if they did that, that would actually most likely invoke NATO Clause 5, which means that literally every NATO country would go into Iran and wipe Iran off the face of the planet. So that's not really too much of a threat because they weren't going to do that to begin with. Now they could shoot them at Israel. Hold on, sir. They could shoot them at Israel. That is true. But I thought we were supposed to be doing this for the United States. That's what I'm asking, right? And helping Israel to start a war with a country just so they were, just for whatever. That doesn't help me. Like right now, my gas prices are higher. My grocery prices are higher. Right, they're going to be higher for a long time. Natural gas prices are going to be up for the next decade due to them attacking like the Qatari natural gas plants and stuff like that. All of those things hurt me. They hurt my pocket, right? And I'm not here to just be helping Israel. To be completely honest with you, I want to help the United States because I love my country.
Well, we got to help the United States first, but we also got to be there for our allies. And Israel's surrounded by enemies, okay? Enemies that hate us and hate them. So, and Iran and all their proxies and radical Muslims have been screaming death to America for decades, okay?
Why?
They hate us just like they hate them. They've been attacking us. They've been killing our military personnel. They've been hurting us for decades.
Why?
Okay, so an enemy like that, their enemy is our enemy as well. Number one. Number two.
No, hold on, sir. Why do they hate us? Why do they hate Israel? Why do they keep chanting death to America? Why?
Well, it's part of their religion. It comes from the Quran.
They hate us because we keep going into their fucking country.
Do you know anything about the Quran?
Yes, I know a lot about it, sir.
You know that.
Hey, sir.
Can you let me talk? Can you let me talk?
No, because I was in the middle of my sentence. You cut me off in order to yell about the Quran. You cut me off to yell about the Quran, and now you're mad I'm cutting you back off for you cutting me off? Yeah,
you're cutting me off, okay.
Yes, because you cut me off to start the sentence.
The reason.
I'm not interested in your point right now. I am in the middle of making a point. You can make your point afterwards.
You're never interested in anybody's points because
I am responding to your points.
You just either you hang up on them or you keep talking and you don't let them talk.
I am
but I promise you, I got an answer for all your freaking questions.
Then cool, sir. Then maybe you should stop and listen to them.
All right. You gonna let me respond now?
You don't have a thing to respond to because I haven't said it yet.
Okay. First of all, the European.
This is not your turn to talk. I was in the middle of answering the question of why. The question of why. Why do they hate us? I was in the middle of answering that question. It's your turn to listen, okay? Once you're done listening to what I have to say, then you can respond to the thing that I said. You see how this works?
Not only America and Israel.
No, he didn't understand anything that worked. He didn't understand any of it. Sir, I'm going to try this again. I will let you respond to what I have to say, but you do need to be quiet so I can finish my point so you can respond to it. Sound good?
Let me respond. Either you let me respond or you hang up.
Sir,
you know what? That's what you do when someone's going to shut you up.
In order to respond, you have to let me speak. That's how a response works, sir. That's how a response works. Right now, you're responding to me not saying anything because you won't let me.
No, you've talked and talked every time I wanted to respond.
Sir, this is getting childish, okay? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say my point, okay? And if you cut me off at any point in time with that, I'll just drop you and I'll finish my point, okay?
You go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you allowing me to speak on my live. The reason why they do that is because the United States keeps interfering with their country, okay? I'm sure you're familiar with things like Operation Ajax, right? Where we went in and literally overthrew their government because we didn't like what they were doing when they were literally under a democratic regime. And we went in there and destroyed it. And that's why they chant that they hate us, because I'm pretty sure the United States citizens would be pretty mad if Iran came in here and tried to overturn our free and fair elections, tried to usurp our democracy, and to try to completely, do a complete upheaval on the entire American system like we did to them. And look, I'm not saying that that's a good thing that they do that, all right? But I also don't really care. Like, you're talking about a country who doesn't have the ability to affect destroying America. They can hate us all they want, all right? And they can sit there and they can chant things all they want, right? Like, that doesn't bother me. Like, I'm not for, right? You called me a meanie head. I don't like you. Like, I could care less, dude. What I care is about what is good for U.S. citizens. And what is good for U.S. citizens is lower prices, lower gas, and our American troops not dying, and us not spending hundreds of billions of dollars at a war that's Israel first, not America first.
All right, can I respond?
Yeah, so we learned this in like kindergarten. You see how I stopped talking and I was done with my point? Now it's your turn.
Okay. See how you get rude when somebody has responses for you. Okay. So first of all,
no, just
first of all, the reason they even have the capabilities to build what they have is because presidents like Obama, which was the worst insider threat America's ever had, okay? Because presidents like Obama was sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Iran for no reason whatsoever. No oversight from their nuclear program. Just here's billions of dollars. Do what you want. Okay. So that's why their programs have.
I want to be clear that this isn't a response to what I said, by the way.
That's how their this is the first part. Okay. That's how their programs have.
I'm just being clear. This isn't a response to what I said. This is a completely different thing. You just
number two.
You just jumped to a completely different thing. Okay. That wasn't number one.
No.
Number one. Let's try number one again.
Let me say it. Okay. So the reason why I know the gas prices do suck. Are you there?
Unfortunately.
Okay. The reason our gas prices and our grocery prices, yeah, it does suck for all of us Americans. You're right. But that's something we're going to have to just get through. Hopefully things will get better on that.
Why do I have to just get
this war is over? Okay. And this war is for a very good reason, because how old are you, sir?
I'm 39.
39? Okay, so you were around for 9/11, weren't you?
Yeah. What does that have to do with anything?
So you said
how many Iranians that did the attack in New York City or at the Pentagon or when the crash?
It doesn't matter where they come from.
How many Iranians were there?
If they have the radical Muslim mindset, it doesn't matter where they come from. Okay?
How many Iranians were there at 9/11?
It doesn't matter. Like
sir, it does matter because
how many Iranians
what you're saying is you're just anti an entire religion, right? Instead of being people responsible for who actually did it, right? Because I'm pretty sure it was Pakistanis, Lebanese, and Egyptians that did 9/11, right? If my memory is correct, am I right on that?
No, you're correct, but
yeah, except for Donald Trump.
You also know that it was radical
except for Muslims. I'm not
blaming a whole religion.
Donald Trump is cozying up to all those. Sorry, Saudis. Forgot about Saudis. Yeah, but we're cozying up to Saudis, aren't we?
I don't like it either. I don't like the way he's cozy up to
all those. We cozy up to all those countries, all those countries that actually produce those radical Islamists, right?
I agree. I don't know why he's making friends. Like I told you, I don't agree with everything he does. Some things yes, some things no. I'm probably right down the middle.
By the way, Obama didn't give them money, by the way.
So first of all, let me respond to what you just said. I'm not pinpointing at an entire religion. I'm pinpointing at the radical Muslims who feel like they have to kill anybody who doesn't believe like them in order to bring on their last imam. Okay? That's who I'm talking about.
Yeah, but again, what Donald
And
Trump is
that's
doing
scary
has
for the
nothing to
world.
do with that because Donald Trump is literally currently negotiating with the IRGC. Okay? Literally, he is literally currently right now negotiating with the IRGC. So he doesn't give a shit about any of the shit that you're saying. Okay? He doesn't care. All right?
So
He's
what would
gonna
you rather them do? Continue to bomb?
No, I'd
Continue to
rather he
bomb
never
or
started to bomb
negotiate?
to begin with. Yeah, I'd rather he never
No,
started to
you
bomb to
have
begin with.
to.
No,
You
I
have
don't.
to. Like
No, I
I told
don't.
you, you cannot put a freaking nuclear weapon in a psychopath's hand. Look at
Donald
North Korea,
Trump
for instance.
said that the nuclear weapons program in Iran was completely obliterated last June, that they were decades away from being able to create a nuclear weapon. How are you going to tell me that Donald Trump said in June they were completely obliterated, that they were decades away from being able to create a nuclear weapon, and then now it's April, and now we have to go to war with them in order to stop their nuclear program?
Okay, so just because you bomb the entrances of their facilities doesn't mean that the plutonium has already been created.
So
It's
what
not
does the
still
word
there,
obliterated
underground,
mean?
ready to be recovered.
What does the word obliterated mean?
You and I both know that Donald Trump is dramatic, and you and I both know that Donald Trump should just stay off of social media and a lot of times not speak. You and I both know that.
So your excuse for this is Donald Trump's a raving idiot or too dumb and senile to be president? I don't know which
Donald
one.
Trump, the people around him and his policies are good, all right? Donald Trump's ego is what gets in his way of being the great.
I don't know. I don't know how to say this. Completely obliterated. What does the word obliterated mean, sir? He said we bombed them. We
means it's
took
done.
out their
It
nuclear
means it's
sites.
done.
Obliterated. Okay. Obliterated. All right. Obliterated
So-
means
so with
there's that
the,
there. When he says they are decades away. Okay. A decade is 10 years still, correct? We didn't lose. Okay. Decades away. So that means at least 2, right? 20 years away. Right? So, cool. If they were 20 years away from creating a nuclear weapon because their entire stuff was obliterated, okay, then why are we spending hundreds of billions of dollars right now going to war to destroy something that was already obliterated?
Maybe that's what they thought in the first place, but that's why reconnaissance is done. If you know anything about that line of work, okay, reconnaissance is done, and if they're still seeing movement and seeing, you know what, we didn't destroy the facilities, there's still a way they can get to the critical assets, and we got to stop it again.
So what
Okay,
you're
so
saying
that's-
is Donald
maybe
Trump is
that's
a
what happened.
horrible
I don't know what
president
happened.
who didn't look at reconnaissance or intelligence before saying it was completely obliterated. So he's
Yeah.
incompetent.
Yeah. I
So
didn't say
him
he
and
was
his entire
incompetent. I
so
said
him and his
he should stay off
entire
social media.
So him and his entire cabinet is incompetent. If you're saying they didn't look
No.
at any reconnaissance or any
They're not
intelligence
incompetent. I
prior
wouldn't say
to
they're
stating
incompetent. He
prior
just
to stating that
sometimes
it was
speaks too
completely
soon.
obliterated. No, that's what incompetency is. If you are going to say
See,
that
here's the
they
deal, man.
they said it's obliterated and then they turned around and then looked at the reconnaissance and realized they didn't know what they're talking about, that's what incompetency
So
looks
here's
like.
the deal. There's in situations like that, in any kind of military attack, there's always the chance of human error. Okay, and there's always in reconnaissance, in press briefings, post-war press briefings, there's always a chance for human error. So did they make a mistake by saying it was obliterated? Yes. Is it obliterated? No.
Did they also make a mistake when
Okay.
the director of national intelligence said that they weren't close to making a nuclear weapon, or when the director of the anti-terrorism center said that we're not doing this they're not doing this war in any way for nuclear weapons and only because Israel talked us into it? Or when the intelligence agencies of 50 other allied countries all say that they weren't trying to build a nuclear weapon?
Do you think? Oh, so you're calling Trump an egotistical maniac, right?
Well, I'd be calling him a
You think that kind of
narcissist,
person?
but in this case, I'm actually calling
You
him
think he's a
moron.
narcissist? Okay. So do you really think a narcissist like Trump, a so-called narcissist like Trump, would listen to such a small country out there? Do you think he would let them
You mean
push
like
him
Israel?
around?
Yeah.
Yes, like Israel.
I do.
Okay,
Because
so I
he
guess
did.
he's not a narcissist then, right? So that would
No,
make him
he's
not a
just-
narcissist.
he's
if he would let us. How
Sir,
how
you
big
don't-
is Israel?
I don't think you know what
It's small,
narcissism
it's smaller
is,
than
sir. I don't-
probably
this-
more than half of our state here.
Sir, you don't know what narcissism is, if that's what you think.
I do know what narcissism is.
Obviously
as a matter
not.
of fact. And
Obviously
when
not.
I see your lives, you kind of sound like a narcissist. the way you treat the people.
Oh, please tell me more, Daddy.
All right. So first of all, back to the beginning of this conversation.
Narcissism makes
derangement
stop.
syndrome.
Stop.
Trump derangement
Stop,
syndrome.
or I'll mute
No matter
you again.
what he chooses
3,
to do, even
2,
if it's good, even if it's
1.
good for this country.
And now you're quiet. People that are narcissists have an easier time being manipulated by people they perceive as powerful, or people that perceive as praising them. Okay, so literally it is his narcissism that makes him easily manipulated by people like Bibi Netanyahu, by people like Vladimir Putin, by people like Viktor Orban, by people like Kim Jong-un, right? His literal narcissism is what makes this more possible. Okay, so when you're saying, oh, a narcissist wouldn't let X, Y, and Z happen. No, a narcissism 100% would let X, Y, and Z happen. Actually, his narcissism is the reason why it happens. Okay?
Are you still there?
Oh, yeah, I just got done unmuting you.
Okay. All right. So, first of all, the Trump derangement syndrome is a problem, like I was saying. Are you going to let me finish the statement?
I heard there may be a cure for you. It's called.
I don't have Trump derangement syndrome.
It's called
I see
using
things how they are.
all 3 of those brain cells at one time, right? If you try really, really hard, I think that you can get them all moving in one direction, and you can
like
get
any
rid
other
of it,
liberal.
Sir. I think you can
like
get rid
any
of it.
other liberal.
Have you
as
tried
soon as
getting
you
a
start
vaccine?
shutting him up, he starts
getting a
getting
vaccine, sir?
ugly. Like
Have you
any
tried
other
getting
liberal.
one?
Like
I would
any
try
other liberal.
CVS.
Okay.
I heard they have a vaccine for it now. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Like any other liberal. See, what you do is you attack. When somebody doesn't agree with you guys or somebody shuts you up, you attack.
Yeah, you're doing such a great job shutting
what
me
you
up,
do.
sir. Yeah.
You haven't had a response for anything. Okay? You don't have an answer for anything.
Yeah.
Why we're at war? Why we're losing this war? We're not losing the war. How can you obliterate? How can you be losing in a war that you're obliterating? Okay, first of all. Second of all, you guys
There's tons of ways if you'd actually allow me to respond.
hate America. You guys hate America, so you guys have no love for our country because you hate our president so bad.
I love
you
our
want
country.
our country to fail.
I just really can't stand
You
people
want
like
our
you.
country to fail.
No, I don't, sir. I want our country to succeed. I just know Donald Trump doesn't actually have the ability to perpetrate that.
You just hope it doesn't come from Donald Trump because if there's good policies in place, no matter what, you guys disagree.
I really wish any day now Donald Trump would start being a good president. That would be great. Just doesn't seem very likely.
Even if
I mean,
he did,
we've seen him for 6.5 years, and or 6 years and counting, 5 years I guess and counting. Sorry, 5 years. It feels like 6 years. It feels like 20 years. To be completely honest with you. But yeah, no. I if at any point in time he wants to like start being a good president, like I like if he came out tomorrow and he was just like I'm abolishing ICE. All right, I'm abolishing ICE. We're ending the war. We're gonna start universal health care, right? We're gonna make sure people can have health care in this country, and you know what? We're gonna forgive everybody's student loans. If he came out and said that tomorrow, I'd be like, wow, Donald Trump sure did make a great turn to being a good president. I don't know where that came from, but he sure did turn that thing around. He's making college affordable, right? He's welcoming brown people. Like, man, that would be awesome. I honestly like that would be great. Maybe if he decided to give back all the money he's directly stealing from the pockets of American citizens, right? Like if he used to do all of that, I think that I really think that we could. I think it would work at that. I would actually, I would actually come on here and I would actually change my topic. I would actually change it. It would change from this to, you change from this to why aren't you supporting Trump? That's what it would change to, and I would have conversations like that. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, Donald Trump, that's not going to happen, right? Like we all know that's not going to happen. Donald Trump doesn't have that. Donald Trump doesn't have that bone in his body, right?
Are you going to let me speak now? Are you going to take me off mute?
You're not muted, sir.
Okay. So first of all, you want to talk about stealing out of the Americans' pockets. It's the immigration that's coming to this country that's stealing out of the Americans' pockets, okay?
No.
Somalians.
It's Donald
you
Trump.
Want to talk about the Somalians? Or you
Didn't he just have a settlement for... How much was his settlement that he's literally taking in taxpayer dollars? Like he just settled his own lawsuit to pay himself No, the 10 billion is the one that he's trying to get. He's currently suing for 10 billion. He just had a settlement from the Justice Department.
Who for 10
I forgot
billion?
how much that one was
Suing
for. That one
who
was
for
for a
10
little bit
billion?
less. I think that was like 10 million or something, 20 million or something like that.
Suing
83
who?
million? Was it 83
Suing who?
million? 83 million.
Who is
Interesting.
he suing?
Us.
Who?
No, the
does?
IRS is different.
Who is he
Guys,
suing?
he's suing us twice. Okay, he sued the Justice Department for 250 million. Then he sued the IRS for 10 billion. So there's two, right? There's two. You
Have you
can't
received those
don't get the robberies mixed up. Okay, it's important to
received
keep
the
the robberies separate. It's kind of like Donald Trump's indictments. You can't there's just so many. Sometimes it's hard to get it's hard. You get them all confused.
The only reason that you guys are fighting for immigration is because number one, they're helping you to win elections. Number two, is because your pockets are so deep with the fraud that they're covering it up.
Wow, my pockets are so deep from the fraud. Guys, all the leftists in here, guys, it's amazing.
Listen, not yours.
Guys, I guess all of our pockets are just so deep from all of this fraud in Minnesota. Guys, you guys are
pocket's not deep.
you guys are you know what, for as rich as you guys are, I think that we can clear off the last 3 hand hearts with all the money you guys are receiving from all this fraud in Minnesota. So I think we can do that. Yeah, give me some. Apparently I got left out of the Democratic fraud meeting. So thanks guys.
Enough, dude.
Really appreciate you guys. You guys couldn't even
enough.
let me in on the Democratic fraud meet. Was that next to the Antifa meeting? Is that why I missed it? Is that why I missed it?
You're not important enough, all right? You're just a freaking clown on a podcast. You're not important enough to get any of those funds, okay? This is for the politicians.
Oh, gotcha. Oh yeah, Soros didn't send me my check this week. That's what it was. Soros was supposed to send me my Democratic Antifa Minnesota fraud check, and I must have missed it. It didn't come in the mail this week. It's unfortunate. I was really hoping to.
Don't worry, your
I
welfare's coming.
was really hoping to get it. Daddy Soros, come help me.
Socialist mindset.
Come help me, Daddy Soros. I need your help.
Your welfare check will be here in the beginning of the month. Don't worry.
Yes, my welfare check.
For socialism, so bad.
Yeah. Guys, if you want to help send me a welfare check, I do have super chat, super stickers, and pay links in the bio. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. They're all at PolyPolitics. If anybody wants to help me with my welfare checks, I appreciate you.
You're a millennial, so you're so lazy.
A millennial? I'm a millennial or a millennial?
That's what I said, a millennial.
A millennial? What's a millennial?
Yeah. Your generation.
That'd be a millennial, sir. Millennial is whatever year Melania Trump was born, I'm assuming.
Sir. Okay, millennial. You're a millennial. You're a millennial, okay?
Yeah.
Just get a life, dude. Get a life. Get a real life.
You're 42. Aren't you also a millennial?
Stop hating the president so much.
Hold on. You're 42. Aren't you also a millennial?
I'm on that. I'm in the gap.
No, you're a millennial. You're a millennial. That's what you are. You're making fun of. We are 3 years apart from each other. You're a literal millennial. You're literally up here making fun of millennials, and you're an actual. You're a whole millennial. Like you're not even like half a millennial. You're like a full millennial. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, it's crazy. That's wild.
I was raised to work hard, man. I was raised to work hard, and that's what I do. I earn my own living.
You know what? Shut up, millennial. Shut up, millennial. Be quiet, millennial. God, why is this millennial up here talking to me? Like, why is this millennial up here running his mouth at me like a stupid millennial? Like a dumb millennial. I can't stand these damn millennials.
You attack for your hatred and then beg for money.
Literally. Speaking of begging for money, thank you so much for my BFF shotgun, liberal paying it forward. This is actually how Soros pays me right here. Thank you so much for that $5 Soros payment. I really appreciate that. And Peach, thank you so much for the 100 for the 2 jewels. You know, that's my welfare check. Lovely Goddess with the
He spent all
welfare
his
check,
money on Pokemon
$5
cards.
over there says, gotta love the Call of Duty gamer explaining military intel to us. Thank you so much for that welfare check I just got.
Call of Duty, all right. If you only knew, bud.
I used to play Call of Duty.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's
so
probably what
I
you
do
do all
know.
day. You know what? You're more like a Minecraft kind of guy, aren't you?
Oh, no, I don't have time to game anymore. I'm too busy doing important things. Yeah.
Oh, really? Like doing so much for the public, like you mentioned to Matt before, right? Doing so much for the public. You know what? You guys do nothing for nobody but destroy. Everywhere the liberal mindset goes.
Anyways, Oris, thank you so much. Said stay hydrated. I do need to stay hydrated. Thank you so much, Oris. And John Hopkins, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much for the $10 welfare payment. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Also, Nick with the welfare corgi. I hope I'm be able to feed that corgi with my welfare check that I just got from YT's over here. Ooh, excuse me. Thank you so much. And Stacy, thank you so much for the $5 over on the Venmos for it's my Antifa dues or your Antifa dues. You're paying your Antifa dues to me. I'll send it forward. I'll make sure they get to the right spot. Okay, I'll make sure I get to the right. Oh, he's gone. He left. I actually didn't hang up on him. He disappeared. Thank you so much for the hand heart. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, dude did not get that he was the joke. Dude did not get that he was the joke. Thank you, Dolphin, for the leap. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're having some fun over here tonight. I'm enjoying myself. I do believe I will be starting at 6 p.m. Central tomorrow. I'm gonna get on a little bit earlier, just see how it rolls. We're kind of testing out some new times and doing a few different things. So he said plutonium instead of uranium. Did he really? Did I miss that? Did I miss him saying plutonium? Anyways, y'all, if you guys still support Trump, you can call in on the number that's above my head. I appreciate you guys. Or join the guest request box. We can do either. I didn't even catch it, bro. He was saying so much dumb shit. He was literally saying so much dumb shit that I just missed it. SC, thank you so much for the $2. Said, keep up the good work job being selective with your rage. I used to be very selective with my rage. I've been kind of off lately. I'm trying to recover. But yeah, Melvin, thank you so much for the $2. Said you don't have to give your resume to justify yourself. 100%. Yeah, you 100% don't. And Matt said, "Huh, that's ridiculous. That means Matt really did get me reported, and that's why he's not up on the live, and that's why my screeners kicked him." Yeah, that's exactly how that happened. But yeah, I think we'll do like 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. We'll start a little bit early. Yeah, it's more fun. Keisha, thank you so much for the GG keys. Dwayne, thank you so much for the thumbs up too. I appreciate that. And I'm sure I missed one. Real, thank you so much. And Tariq, thank you so much also. I appreciate that. Hello, caller. How are you?
I'm good. How about you, Polly?
I'm doing great.
Can I just say something right quick?
Yeah, 1 second, man. I have to adjust my volume back up because you're not screaming at me.
My apologies.
No, don't be apologetic. The last guy was just screaming, so I had to turn the volume down because I was going to have to blow out my eardrums with this headset. But anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
I was insanely frustrated. So I'm a vehement, adamant Trump supporter, 100%. I've had conversations with you in the past about this. But just as far as your previous caller, I really respect the fact that you even gave him the voice, that even elevated his voice the way you did. I don't think a lot of your panel, so to speak, or your viewer base understands that they just sit there and it's easy to talk. Everyone just talks, and whether it's name calling or whatnot. But you have actually taken the time and invested the money to make a space for people to speak. So to even allow someone like that and I'm a vehement Trump supporter. I do not agree with you. I don't agree with you ideologically. I'm 40. I don't agree with you ideologically or politically, but I can tell you just to deal with that level of disrespect, you shouldn't have had to. And he is the worst of us as MAGA supporters, and we don't claim that man. I don't think America claims that man. I don't know if Russia or Europe claims that man. I don't think he has a place that claims him. But we don't claim him over here at the MAGA portion. That level of disrespect to the host was just unacceptable. It was ignorant, and you don't have to believe or agree with a person or believe in any of the things that they say to be respectful. And the simple fact that you were respectful with him and you didn't just clown his ass the whole time, I give you some respect. But with that being said, now I think without taking too much time, I think the audience doesn't quite understand the difference between supporting a man ideology, like as far as how he thinks idea-wise and policy-wise, okay? Because there are quite a few wonderful things that Trump has tried to do, okay? Whether or not we're going to go from, tax cuts and Jobs Act 2015, the deregulations, record low unemployment, which is true, First Step Act 2018, the VA Mission Act 2018, Foreign Policy and Trade, the USMCA 2020, replace NAFTA with the Mexico-Canada Agreement, which updated
Hold on. There's so many
trade
things that you're
regulations.
going through here. Hold on.
It is
I'm
policy.
going to get my
I'll go
notepad
slow.
out.
Absolutely. Now, these are
No,
just...
because you're just, most of the stuff you're naming is stuff either Donald Trump didn't do or Donald Trump was forced to do.
No, these are things in bills that he's passed, actually, Polly. So these are actually
Well, like the
all things that you can look up.
USMCA, like not only did he have to pass that because NAFTA expired, but he's also called it the worst trade deal ever in existence.
VA
Just to give an
Mission
example.
Act, First Step Act.
The VA Mission Act was
reform.
just a tag on to the larger Veterans Access to Care Act.
First Step Act, and we're going to go foreign policy, USMCA 2020, with the NAFTA and Mexico replace agreement, which updated trade rules and digital technology that strengthened our labor provisions, stopping all of our manufacturing as far as automotive from going overseas. There's Abraham Accords 2020. It was historic. Now, granted, as disgusting as Israel is, and this is the whole thing, that was one of the biggest things with me. I support Trump because he supported America. Now, I do not like the way the message was polluted, make America great again. That kind of implies America never really was great. And if you talk to someone like you who is, and an adamant American who supports America, who just wants to see the proper policies, and you stated this on many channels, on many different occasions, that exact fact. So for him to kind of contradict you on it was ignorant. Like, where's your job? What do you do? Who are you helping? And I was like, oh my God, have you watched this man? Because if you would have watched the man, you wouldn't open your mouth in such a disrespectful way. But anyways, the China trade confrontation, okay? He was the very first president to truly confront that directly, okay? And then judicial appointments. Now, this is one thing that me and you are obviously we're not gonna see eye to eye on. Judicial appointments are completely different as far as especially the Supreme Court, but historically, he went down the line, district, and he was making sure that conservative judges, it doesn't matter if you don't agree with him at that point. When he told you he was going to come in and shake up the system, he did not lie.
All right. There's way too many things. You're just going from point to point to point. So we need to stop for a second. Okay. We need to stop for quite a few things. One, that's no different than any other president does. So I want to nip that in the bud right there. That is not a shakeup. That's not anything different than anybody else is doing. Every president, when having a chance to appoint judges, appoints judges that are more sympathetic to their side. Obama did it. Biden did it. Bush did it. But no, you just said that it was like shaking up the system. That's not shaking up the system. That's just doing what every single. That's doing what every president. Sir, I let you gave me like 9 points. I think I get to start responding now. Thank you. Yeah, as I already said with the USMCA was just NAFTA redone, which was a requirement because NAFTA was expiring. On top of that, okay, NAFTA, they literally whoever's screening, please stop putting people. Please put people in the host queue. Do not put them in the host room. Please and thank you. You're putting people on the live. Please stop. Whoever it is, please. Sorry. Someone keeps dropping someone in my. I keep kicking someone off the live, and they keep putting them back in. Anyways,
You're okay. Keep going.
So regards to USMCA was something that any president would have done there, except for Donald Trump, again, called it the worst trade deal ever. So if Donald Trump thinks that his own trade deal is the worst trade deal that's ever that ever existed, then I don't know why you're saying that it's such a good thing. Okay. As far as the the first step to that thing, I think, that was supposed to be the first step of multiple steps, and Donald Trump completely failed to implement any of the other steps that followed on into those steps, which meant that there was a bunch of missed timelines, there was a bunch of missed deadlines, there was a completely failed implementation of the first step back. So even if it had some type of intention of being good at some point in time, it never actually became any of those things, not to mention the fact that the algorithm that they used in order to decide who actually was released on these programs was actually found to be very heavily racist and very heavily rooted to actually help white people more than it helped everybody else. Not to mention that it only affected people that were in federal custody, which is a very minute part of any of the criminal justice system and the problems that we have in the United States, right? The Abraham Accords was a complete lack of judgment from anybody that has any type of understanding of the Middle East, right? It is actually one of the sole reasons that the October 7 attacks happened on Israel, which means it's also one of the sole reasons why we are even at war right now. And we're seeing a lot of those countries actually that were in the Abraham Accords start to have different judgments about why they're actually in them, because the entire point behind the Abraham Accords was a conglomerate, and now they're showing that Donald Trump and the Americans are not going to go to bat with them. They're not going to stop them. They're not going to protect them. They literally are watching all of those Gulf countries get bombed, their oil infrastructure become completely taken out, and we're doing nothing to help them. We're not even trying to stop them. We just now put boats in the strait because we are more concerned with protecting ourselves than we are protecting with anybody else. With all that said, okay. I forgot about China. The attacking China dead on was not in any way helpful. It actually very much helped to increase our inflation rate, especially as we went into into COVID and the reopening of COVID. What he did was start a trade war, and I don't see how starting a trade war with our country that we get a large majority of our products from, and starting shit with them and continuing to start it at the expense of the American people is helping anything. Now, please, when I ask you again, like when you start back, can you please address one thing at a time? Because I'm not going through a whole other list of things again.
Absolutely. So I kind of was just giving us a plethora of things to discuss, just a few different topics. Glad you kind of addressed all of them up front. But to go back to what you were saying, so let's not act for a moment like we don't know what this is all intended for, okay? Truthfully, there is no, when he states, and this is true with every one of your callers or everyone else that watches in the audience, they don't want to understand or believe how this goes. It's how the world works. And it really doesn't matter about policy. And it truthfully is about strength. And when it comes down to it, China will project strength in any way that they see fit, like when they send over foreign exchange students and they steal, anything really, or any other information that they possibly can. And we're not even talking about invading China. So I give you reverence when it comes to Iran or any other Middle Eastern country for that fact, because everyone's so ignorant to believe it's all about oil, when it's truthfully nothing to do about oil. It's truthfully only to do with ideology. And if your ideology is different from ours, it's a threat. It's simple and plain. And I don't care if anyone in your audience doesn't like it. And the simple fact that Trump understands it, despite the way he's implementing it, is to be understood. Now, the simple fact that Trump understands that economically we're starving China at this moment. They're not stating this on the news, and you have to do your proper research to understand it, but China and Russia get all their oil from Iran.
That's not
or in
true.
that predominant portion of the country. It is.
It is
absolutely
not true.
is. The
It absolutely
majority
is
of
not
their
true.
oil is from that portion of the strait. That's
That
why
is
every other major
unequivocally
oil
true.
producing country that literally sends to all native or every other region in the globe is being allowed transportation. China itself states it. It's being
China
starved and
is between the
strangled at this
fourth
moment.
and fifth largest producer of oil on the planet by themselves, and the number one importer they get of oil after that is from Russia.
See, that's an interesting thing to see. That was a statistic so many years ago. I said it's like maybe a decade or so ago. But the simple fact of since the war with Ukraine, my friend, there is a lot of the infrastructure within Russia, especially, I don't know if you've understood, but that a very large refinery that was like literally a fucking mile long
that Ukraine just did one of the biggest drone operations in history and deleted, like you said, gone. When you're telling old boy, like, what does this mean? It means no longer fucking here. He didn't understand it. He just couldn't grasp it. It's not there. It doesn't exist anymore. They didn't bomb one of the fucking tanks or anything. The entire facility. So there is no more production or facilitation of oil going on in Russia to what you were thinking. Okay.
Yes, there is.
It's not happening.
Yes, there is.
So,
sir, I don't know where you're getting your data, but it is 100%. Who has the largest oil reserves on the planet?
The largest oil reserves?
Mm-hmm.
Well, disclosed or undisclosed? Because undisclosed, it's supposedly the United States with more oil reserves underneath Oklahoma, Wyoming, and Texas than all of the OPEC producing nations combined.
No, strategic oil reserves, sir, not under the ground oil reserves. Oil that's already been pumped, refined, and sitting awaiting reserve use in case of war or economic crisis.
So I can't say it's us because we drain the strategic reserves. So I would like to say Asia. It would be Asia in my personal belief.
Asia's not a country.
How.
Yeah, Asia's not a
China.
country.
You understand what I'm saying? China.
No, I
The
don't,
Asia
because
Peninsula.
both China
Who runs
and
Asia?
Russia are both in
Who
Asia.
runs Asia? So who runs Asia? China?
No one, as far as I
Or
know.
Russia?
Neither.
Russia runs Asia?
Neither.
Brother, come on. You're smarter than that.
Yeah, that'd be like
It doesn't
saying it.
matter
What
what the
is
political-
what? Say
This is
what
a
is
drumbeat
what
on which
is
you
your
don't
what
follow.
what
You're
is what
smarter
is
than me,
what
intelligent.
who has the best GDP in the EU? And you're like, yeah, Europe. Like, what are you? What are you talking about? It's China.
No.
China has 1.5 billion gallons.
What's the most major
China has
predominant landmass in the Asia
China
continent?
has 1.5 billion gallons in strategic oil reserves. They're just fine. Okay? They're doing just fine. And this blockade is temporary. Not to mention the fact, sir, that China has actually increased its oil exports because of the Ukraine war, because they need money to fund their war. That's the entire point. So they're literally sending more oil out the door, okay? More oil out the door to places like China because of the war. The war didn't stop that. The war increased that. So I don't know what you're talking about. And it's only like something like 10% of China's
their production to stop relying on us or any other portion of the.
What I was trying to say is what they got from Iran was about 10%. Okay, they got about 10% of their oil from someplace like Iran. And giving 10% of your oil gone, yeah, that definitely hurts. That's something that does exist. Okay, that's 100% true. But it's not something that China's not going to get past. It's not something that China can't get through. And they're definitely not being hurt by it, right? Yeah, their gas prices will go up a little bit. Yeah, they might have to pull from a few of their strategic reserves, but they're not going to be harmed by this. Not to mention this entire blockade is, again, incredibly temporary. It's meant to put a halt, to expedite negotiations. That's all, right? That's the only thing it's doing. And it will soon be over. And then this won't be an issue anymore. And China knows that, and everybody knows that. So we're not putting some hard strain on China by doing this. It's just not happening, all right?
High-endist on the Geneva Convention. Literally, unfortunately, I don't agree with you. I mean, I hate it. I do not agree with you, but it's more the reason why you need to be on mainstream television. Fucking disgusts me. Not you, me. And how I say that out loud, I puke in my mouth a little bit. But the fact he literally just put a stand at Geneva Conventions, bro. I don't think you get it. Like, the man has gone off the rails. At this point, it's 25th Amendment to motherfucker. Get fucking J.D. Vance in this bitch. Give him a lollipop. Tell him he's doing good. And let's fucking pull this bitch off the rails. It's like that. But you don't see that in the news. You have to do your proper research. And I know you have the ability to do it. And you're right. China does have the reserves and the ability to do it. And I support the man. I'll support the man even a fucking loony bit. Even if he's fucking a loony with dementia. I'm going to support Trump. I do not support Trump because he's an American or he's the president. That would be fundamentally wrong. You stated that in a previous conversation. And I agree with you vehemently.
Yeah.
That does not mean I can't support the man for his ideology. I understand the ideology. The ideology is strong. The ideology is we've been bulldozed and we have been weak and allowed things to happen. So now we are not. So when he states things like, deep down, my manlyhood We're not going to confine ourselves to rules of other nations based on war. We're here to win, aka bridges, schools, power plants, and water treatment facilities, all of which are an act of war, all of which go against every human right that I can possibly think of. Everything does not sit right in my heart. But am I going to tell you, understandably, that when it comes down to victory, that's what I want, but I do not believe in this level of victory in what we're doing with Iran. But China, 100%. The problem is China is at a point where they've infiltrated the United States in so many different facets, especially infrastructure because of all the land mass they own, being the biggest holder of debt. Now, and you can look this one up, they have, the United States government, discovered certain
Hello?
kill switches all within the fucking infrastructure, the
Check.
electrical infrastructure of the United States. So, well, we can't get rid of them.
Can you guys hear
Why
me?
would they have them there? What would they be used for? And then all you have to do is do a little bit
Can you
of
guys hear me all
research
right?
and prompt things properly for them to answer you, and they'll tell you that China is at critical, regardless of
All
what
right,
you
cool.
see on the news.
I found a way to mute myself from his microphone so he can't hear me because this dude has not.
10% might not seem like a lot to you, but 10% of
This
a
dude
billion
has
is a lot. Okay,
is
10%
just
of 100 is not. So when
yo,
we're looking at
bro.
land
This dude
mass
hasn't
of a
taken a
population as large
breath,
as China's, with the output
bro.
as far as export, import, and manufacturing to the size that
He hasn't
China
taken a
has,
breath,
10%
bro.
can be monstrously
He's
small.
still
Now,
going.
they're saying
If you
it's
still
going
support
to
Trump and you'd like to
export
call in on the
up
number
to
that's above my head or join the
that
guest
right
request
there,
box,
that's detrimental
I
to
will
growth.
gladly pull you up
So what
and have a
We can't
conversation
fight
with you
a
instead
country
of
that
this.
has 11 nuclear powered
Like,
aircraft carriers. If we were just, and this is a
gladly.
fact, look it up,
Like,
just
not
take
an
out
issue
one,
whatsoever.
just
Call
one
on in. My
nuclear
screeners are waiting.
division. We'll give China and Russia
And we
both
can
both
move on. Thank you so
We'll
much,
give them both
Graceful,
one
for the
country
Dragon
who still
Crown.
shit down their fucking
I really
throat
appreciate both
10
of
days
those. We only need one more
our
of those for the
fucking
live
in,
gift goal.
because we still have 9. They get shit. There's no other country that fucks with the military. Not the
Lovely.
US.
Thank you so much for the $5. Said, I'm so confused. Is he trying to insult you or glaze you over?
Shove it down your throat,
I'm not
and if you can't handle
100%
that
sure
inch,
either.
fucking gargle. And that's how the United States looks at it.
Man,
That's how they've always
could go really either way on this one.
People don't like it. But you live in the
Yeah,
United
but
States.
yeah, interesting. If
You
you always
are
like to support the live, do a
order
super
level
chat,
workers
super
and
stickers,
most
pay links in the bio,
So
all that fun stuff.
China is not going to get back into a corner. They're going to and then what do? They send shots across the bow. With
Yeah,
the
cool.
power grid. And that's all.
Oh, Hot Dog, thank you so much for the last Dragon Crown. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Keisha, thank you so much for the Laughing Disco. Xlaxy, thank you so much. Gabe, wow, thank you so much for the firework. I really, really appreciate that. Uncle Ben, thank you so much for the happy poop. Jimmy, thank you so much for the Laughing Disco. Dwayne, thank you so much for the happy poop.
Over fucking oil or gold power.
Oh, Matt, as much shit as you've said on my live, you can survive someone giving you shit back. You'll be fine for a night.
I agree with
No crying. You'll be fine. You'll survive a day.
what it's meant to be. Truthfully, it's
Keisha, thank you so much. Xlaxy, thank you so much. This new one? No, I think I got everyone.
it is meant to create peace, but
I can't believe I figured out how to do this. This is dope, isn't it?
it's meant to cause destruction. And I think that's where a lot of the United States and a lot
Yeah,
of
this is pretty funny. Make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. CO, thank you so much too. Yeah, man, totally. All right, man. Well, you have a good one, okay?
Take it easy, Polly.
Jesus, dude. That's fucking wild. That was so long, bro. That was so long. Like, dude, I'm sorry. Like I have like way too much ADHD to like I should have asked him to repeat that. That's so fucked up. I have way too much ADHD for this shit, man. Like I gotta have conversation, bro. Like no, I gotta have conversation. It has to flow. Like, it just gets so. Just row. Dude, there ain't no way. I have to be able to be like engaged. If I'm not engaged, I literally won't, like, I stop paying attention to you. I don't even do it intentionally. Yeah, someone said ask him to repeat it. I was like, God damn, bro, that would have been fucking funny. That should have been like, that actually would have been actually like really funny. Tim, thank you so much for the $2. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Said domain expansion, breathless garage. I don't even know what that means, and it's funny to me. I don't even know what that means, and it was still funny to me somehow. Okay. That was somehow so much fun. That was so funny to me. I don't know. That was longer than Gone with the Wind. Yeah, probably. All right. Well, not seeing or hearing any callers right now. I guess I'm gonna cut it about a half hour early. Because we have because I don't have any callers right now, so I'm just gonna call it early tonight, So I will see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, I think I'm gonna try to get on at like 6-ish. I don't know, probably like 6-ish tomorrow. 6-ish Central, so 7 Eastern. So I might get a little early on TikTok too before we start that. So if you guys would like to come by, please do hit that follow button, turn on notifications if you haven't already. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And yeah, love you guys. Bye.